screen and when we get the YouTube stream working on our Prep Radio YouTube channel. Lady Raiders have it with 1:50 left in the third quarter. They lead 35-32. Williams has it and works it inside. Tries to step around Jenna Johnson. She does, and her shot is up. No good. Jenna gets the rebound, though, and comes away with it. She gets it over to Demetria Strickland. Demetria has it and is dribbling it around. Gets it to Cannon Green. Cannon gets her pass over to Ayana Porter. Back to a 2-3 zone here for the Lady Raiders, and Ayana steps out and tries to assess the situation. She gets it to Cannon Green. Cannon has it at 1:20 left in the third quarter. Kick it around to Demetria Strickland for three. It's good. And the Lady Wildcats have tied it on Demetria Strickland's three-point shot with 1:08 left in the third quarter, 35-35. Tanner has it for the Blue Raiders. She kicks it out for Emma Smith, three-pointer. She responds with the three, 38-35. Quick turnover there by the Lady Wildcats, and the turnover goes right back to the Lady Wildcats as Addison Hurst picked it off and walked with it. Very fortunate there for the Lady Wildcats, who now trail by three, 38-35 with 55 seconds left in the third quarter.
Both of those shots, some beautiful three-pointers from both teams. What do you think the chances are of us having a back-to-back competition here for threes here in the next couple of shots?
That'd be pretty impressive as if we were under a minute here. Jenna Johnson has it in the lane. Her hook shot is good. 37-38. The Lady Wildcats trail by one with 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Tanner has it, nearly dribbles it away, but gets her own dribble back, trying to get it to Westfield. Tip taken by Lindsey Cleveland. Lindsey driving into the lane. Shot no good, but she is fouled by Tanner. That will be Tyra Tanner's foul for the Lady Raiders, the fourth team foul, which will send Lindsey Cleveland to the line. 38-37. Lindsey Cleveland with an opportunity here to tie or take the lead with 21 seconds left in the third quarter.
I will say, when she was getting up, it looked like there may be a little bit of an injury. Hopefully it's not. She was limping when she came back up off that ankle, but we'll see how she does if she comes out after these two free throws.
Lindsey does make the first of her two free throws, as it is now 38-38 with 21 seconds left in the third quarter. Lindsey's second free throw up and good. Lindsey takes the lead for the Lady Wildcats, 39-38, 19 seconds left in the third quarter. Lauren Hurst tries to drive in the lane. Shot no good. Rebound nearly by Bella Boone, but taken by Lindsey Cleveland. 10 seconds for the Lady Wildcats. Cannon Green tried to work it up court. Gets it over to Ayana Porter. 5 seconds. Trying to get a shot off. Lindsey Cleveland has it with 2 seconds. Need to get a shot off by Demetria Strickland. She does, but no good. A lead for the Lady Wildcats in a fast-paced last minute there. Josh Frazier, 39-38 the lead as we head to the fourth.
Yes, so far that last minute of the third quarter is by far the most exciting part of the game. It was just back and forth. Who can get the last shot? We had a couple of threes hit, beautiful three-point shots by both teams. And I'm really excited for this fourth quarter. It should be a good one, and we'll probably come down to the wire.
We will take a quick 30-second break. Lady Wildcats lead 39-38 heading into the fourth quarter. Welcome back to Wildcat Arena and Jill Pruden Court here. James Branson joined by the one and only Josh Frazier here, as it is his 35th birthday, and happy birthday to him. Ethan Eubanks helping us out. Ben George helping us out, not to be confused with Josh Frazier. And David Clary directing and doing all of our technical expertise back at the station here for us, as we have 8 minutes left in this ball game. Lady Wildcats lead, and we'll get the ball here to start the fourth quarter 39-38, they lead. Demetria Strickland has it, and she's trying to get it, picks up her dribble, and she does get it over to Zayana Stewart. Zayana trying to get in between that zone, is able to step around, tries to throw a floater up off the glass, no good. Rebounded there, going to be by Lauren Hurst. And she bumps Zayana Stewart, and they call a blocking foul on Zayana Stewart. Lauren Hurst lowered her shoulder into Zayana Stewart, and they called a blocking foul on Zayana Stewart. Obviously, Coach Taylor is not happy about that.
Yeah, neither is anybody in this crowd either, as you can hear them all booing. Clearly a botched call, I think, on that one for sure.
Terrible call there as it goes against the Lady Wildcats, and we're going to have another call here on the Lady Wildcats on Lindsey Cleveland this time. This will be the 6th team foul for the Lady Wildcats, 4 team fouls for Cleveland as the Lady Wildcats lead by 1, 39-38, 7:27 left in this ball game. Lauren Hurst, who's a pretty lanky player, has it, drives on Jenna Johnson. Her shot up off the glass and good. Jenna trying to get it in as the Lady Raiders lead 40-39. She does get it into Lindsey Cleveland, who goes down the court, tries to get it off to Cannon Green. Cannon gets it over to Ayana Porter, thinks about a three, but drives in the lane. Shot good up off the glass. Ayana responds, 41-40. 7 minutes left in the third quarter here as Cleveland tries to work it up court to Williams. Williams tries to drive baseline. It's good to see she's okay coming off the bench, and she is not hurt. She gets it into Lauren Hurst. Gets a nice pass over, I believe, to Moody. Shot up, no good. Ball is going to be shot there by Westfield. Westfield, her shot is no good, and it should be Lauren Hurst with the foul on Demetria Strickland, and it is. Lauren Hurst kind of came over the back there.
Yeah, it looks like there's some tensions between these two teams starting to brew. I definitely see a little frustration on both sides of the court whenever there's a tie-up or a major call like that. And I do want to say that is probably the fastest I've ever seen 2 fouls called in a game ever.
Lauren Hurst is going to have her first team foul, and the Lady Wildcats will be shooting, or her first foul, the team 6 fouls. There's a little bit of confusion out here over whether it is a shooting foul or a non-shooting foul. One official said it was 1-1. The other one said it is not because there are only 5 team fouls, which is the correct call. So they eventually get the call correct, and the Lady Wildcats are able to work it in. Jenna Johnson gets it off to Lindsey Cleveland. Over to Ayana Porter. Ayana inside to Jenna. Jenna tries to throw it up. No good. Lindsey with the rebound, though, and is going to have to tiptoe the line. And what is the call going to be? Is it going to be Lady Wildcat ball or Cleveland? And they say it was tipped by Cleveland, so it'll be Lady Wildcat ball as they will work it in on the corner there. Demetria Strickland to work it in. 41-45, Lady Wildcats lead. 6:25 left in the fourth quarter. Ayana Stewart has it at the top of the key. Looking at a screen, but comes off the screen. Gets it over to Lindsey Cleveland. Lindsey trying to get it over to Cannon Green, but works it back over to Porter. Porter drives in for a little 2-point shot. Up, no good. Going to be rebounded by Cannon, who gets it back to Porter. Porter it over to Johnson. Johnson, little sky shot, no good. Going to be tipped around and then eventually taken away by Jenna Johnson. Jenna gets it over to Demetria Strickland for 3, no good. Going to be taken away again by Lindsey Cleveland, and a jump ball is going to be called, and it is going to be the Lady Raiders ball. But what you like to see there, Josh, is the fight to get rebounds and get extra shots by the Lady Wildcats.
Absolutely, especially when the Lady Raiders, they have that length that you were talking about. But right there, it was basically nullified. They were getting rebound after rebound and fighting. And it's going to be an exciting fourth quarter. I'm literally sitting on the edge of my seat watching this game right now.
41-40 as the Lady Wildcats come up with a turnover. They want to run, and they do. Ayana Porter gets the steal to Lindsey Cleveland. Lindsey to Jenna. Jenna tries to drive in the lane, but throws it away. Emma Smith for the Lady Raiders comes up to court with it. 5:30 left in the fourth quarter here. As the Lady Raiders work it around, they get it to Addison Hurst. Addison throws a shot up off the glass, and it is good. And a foul is going to be called on Cannon Green as she was just standing down at the low post. And Addison Hurst just kind of hit a little spinning shot there and earned a trip to the free throw stripe.
Yeah, it's that old and one play right there, correct? So great fight, great shot, and they got the and one. just made the free throw. Let's see what the Lady Wildcats can do from here.
43-41, the Lady Wildcats trail by 2 with 5:13 left in the fourth quarter. Lady Wildcats working inside. They do to Lindsey Cleveland. Shot no good. Going to be rebounded, though, by Jenna Johnson. Oh, nice pass there on a fake shot by Ayanna Porter. Lindsey Cleveland for 2 to tie it up. 43-43. About 4:53 left in the fourth quarter. Cleveland has it. They get it to Williams. Williams is trying to drive into the lane. She nearly pushes off and loses her dribble, but gets a pass off to Moody. Moody shot up and good. 45-43. The Lady Raiders lead by 2 with 4:37 left in the fourth quarter. Ayanna Porter, foul on the baseline. Reach in, and it looks like that will be the 6th foul, team foul for the Lady Raiders. And it will be a under the basket inbound with 4:34 left in the game. Substitutions coming.
Yeah, that was definitely a good call on that one. Looked like a pretty hard fall there on the court. So
Jaden Lee comes in for Emma Smith as Demetria Strickland tries to work it into Cannon Green. She does. Cannon tries to step around a pass, and it is going to be out of bounds on Cannon as she was not able to control her dribble there. And it will be the Lady Raiders with the ball. 45-43 their lead with 4:30 left in the fourth quarter here. Addison Hurst has it, guarded by Lindsey Cleveland. Full court pressure for her. And eventually is going to be a foul called on Lindsey Cleveland after the smallest of contact through that whole little pursuit up the court there, Josh.
You know, I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking it. I had a feeling something was probably going to get called here in a couple of seconds. And that was probably by far the littlest amount of contact that you could call a foul on.
Addison Hurst converts on her first free throw there to extend the Lady Raider lead to 3, 46-43 with 4:23 left in the fourth quarter. And she makes her second free throw as Cannon Green will come out. Zayana Stewart coming into the game for the Lady Wildcats as the Lady Wildcats inbound it to Demetria Strickland. She is trying to set up the offense here. Gets it over to Ayanna Porter inside at the free throw line to Jenna Johnson. They work it around, and his tip pass going to be by Lindsey Cleveland, taken away, and eventually going to be kicked out of bounds by Moody of the Blue Raiders. It will stay Lady Wildcat ball. 4:05 left in the fourth quarter here. Demetria Strickland has it off the inbound. Over to Ayanna Porter. Skip pass to Lindsey Cleveland. Zayana Stewart trying to drive in the lane. Back out to Cleveland. Over to Ayanna Porter on another skip pass. 3-point shot up. No good. Rebounded by Lauren Hurst. Lauren Hurst has it and gets it up the court. And a quick pass back to Hurst over to Williams. 47-43, the Lady Raider lead. Long free three-point shot by Williams. Shot no good. Going to be taken away, though, by Ayanna Porter. Over to Lindsey Cleveland. Lindsey Cleveland inside to Jenna Johnson. Up off the glass. Good. 2-point lead for the Lady Raiders. 47-43 as Jenna cuts the lead with 3:27 left in the fourth quarter here. It's going to be a full timeout. We will take that with them, and we will be back in 45 seconds. James Branson back here, joined by Josh Frazier, Ethan Eubanks, David Clary, and Ben George, our crew tonight, helping us out, as well as our camera personnel down on the court. Gavin is helping us out. Lady Wildcats trail by 2, 47-45 in the fourth quarter, 3:17 left on the fourth quarter clock. Lady Raiders have it with Williams. Williams trying to work it inside to Lauren Hurst, who's really had a nice second half here. Her shot is up, no good. Rebound is being fought for, and eventually going to be a jump ball called, and it will be Lady Wildcat ball with the possession arrow. Gavin Kintop is helping us out on our ground crew. Thank you, David Clary, for that, as the Lady Wildcats have it with 3 minutes left in the game here, trailing by 2, 47-45. A blocking foul is going to be called on Addison Hurst there on Demetrius Strickland, number 3, blocking number 3, and she will earn a trip to the free throw line.
All right, and here's where those fouls and early foul trouble comes into play. We've got less than 3 minutes to go, and there's probably going to be a lot of free throws here shortly. But I want to say I think the best route for the Lady Wildcats to go is to stay away from shooting on the perimeter, those three-point shots. Drive into the lane, set yourself up, get those easy inside shots, and come back and play defense, because those three-pointers are going to eventually kill your game.
Great poise there by Demetrius Strickland as she hit both and tries to get a three-pointer and nails the three-pointer off the turnover. Ayana Porter came up with a steal. 5-point swing in the Lady Wildcats' favor. 50-47, the Lady Wildcats lead with 2:30 left in the fourth quarter. Nearly a steal taken away by Cleveland. Everybody just letting Lauren Hurst do her thing and stand around, and she misses her shot. Porter comes with it over to Cleveland. Cleveland has her shot blocked, and is going to be taken away there by Williams. Cross-court pass to Hurst. Hurst tries to work it into the lane, has it stripped away and taken away by Jenna Johnson. Jenna going coast to coast. Jenna off the glass, no good, as she stepped around a block there, trying to get a charge call. And it is going to be a foul, I believe, on Demetrius Strickland. Fast-paced 30 seconds there, as we saw the Lady Wildcats get it, intercept a pass, nail a three-point shot by Demetrius Strickland, after Demetrius Strickland hit 2 free throws to bring our lead to 50-47 with 2:03 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm starting to think they actually heard me down there when I said they should probably stay away from the perimeter and the three-point shots, because almost immediately they basically said, hey, I'm going to shoot a three-pointer, and I'm going to make it. So what do you know, Josh?
As it will be a conversion on the first free throw by Moody, and her second one is good as well. 50-49, the lead for the Lady Wildcats by 1 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Cleveland trying to put a little bit of pressure on Porter. Porter hands it off to Johnson. Johnson throws it over to Strickland, who nearly has it taken away, but it skipped past to Porter. Porter makes a move inside, off the glass, no good. And it's going to be taken away by Hurst. Hurst bullies her way through the lane and comes across court over to Moody. Thinks about a three, but no good. And a blocking foul on a screen by Lauren Hurst. Being a little too aggressive there. Jenna Johnson was trying to close out on the three-point shot. Lauren Hurst tried to screen her, and that just wasn't. She was moving on the screen, and there's where the blocking foul occurred.
Yeah, and now it's time to take control of that momentum. You've got 1:40 left in the game. Let's get this momentum going. Pick up the fast pace. You've got the lead. Clearly you can hit threes right now. They're feeling good. Let's keep it up and win this game.
Takeaway there by the Lady Raiders as they try to come up court 50-49, and it's going to be a blocking foul called on Jenna Johnson on the baseline there with 1:24 left in the fourth quarter here. So, you know, a lot of hecticness going on right now on the court. Both teams wrestling over control of the game and really trying to make the play here to win it, when probably the best move is to get everybody settled down, get in your offense and what you can do for the Lady Wildcats, stay active defensively as Williams' first free throw is no good, and then finish the ball game for the Lady Wildcats. Williams' second free throw, good. ties it at 50. 1:24 left in the fourth quarter here. What a great game we've seen tonight between these two teams. And it really has been a back and forth affair the whole night.
It definitely has. And I'll tell you what, I didn't expect my first basketball game that I've ever called to be this exciting. I think I've been sitting on, and James can even attest to it, I've been sitting on the edge of my seat for pretty much the entire second half, about halfway through that third quarter. It's really been something else. And if these teams can get settled down and get back to their game instead of being frustrated and fighting each other for the ball so much, I think Oak Ridge could really pull this one out.
I would say to that, though, in the last 84 seconds here, you got to be smart with the ball. And, Oak Ridge, you want to stay active defensively. That's really what's gotten you a lot of these turnovers. Oak Ridge is going to come out with the ball here out of this timeout, but stay active, stay engaged, and, don't try to extend or make too much to force the play. Let the play come to you, and when it comes to you, make that play, whether it's a shot, whether it's a layup, whether it's drawing a foul or, going in and hitting your free throws here. Key moments that we have here ahead, tied 50 with 1:24 left in the game.
Yes, smart basketball. You said it right there. If they can play smart basketball, it's going to be hard for the Lady Raiders to take over and win this game.
Zayana Stewart inbounds it here to Demetrius Strickland. One of the things that I know Jill Pruden did a lot in this, Coach Jill Pruden did a lot here in this scenario. She might back it out and try to play for the last shot, but I think this group of Lady Wildcats want to drive and attack, and they do. Zayana Stewart tries her shot, no good. With 1:08 left on the clock, Lady Raiders come away with it, tied at 50. Tyra Tanner has it for the Lady Raiders. She gets it into Lauren Hurst. Lauren Hurst up off the glass, good. And is a 2-point lead, 50-52 for the Lady Raiders with 51 seconds left in the game here, as a timeout will be called by the Lady Wildcats, I believe. It will be a 30-second timeout. We will take it with them. We will be back in 30 seconds. James Branson joined back here at Wildcat Arena by Josh Frazier as the Lady Wildcats have it with 50 seconds here left in the game. Ayana Stewart down by 2, 52-50 to the Cleveland Blue Raiders. Works it over to Zayana Stewart. Zayana, we're inside to Jenna Johnson. Over to Demetrius Strickland. Shot for 3, no good. Rebound by Lindsay Cleveland. But on the rebound, she's going to be fouled and earns herself a trip to the free throw stripe. It will be Jaden Lee with the 9th team foul for the Lady Raiders on an over-the-back call that sends Lindsay Cleveland to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting 34.7 seconds left of this game. I think it's just going to come down to the wire, and whoever gets the ball last, I think is going to be the winner of this game.
Lindsay Cleveland's first free throw, good. No hesitation. Nearly a tie ball game could be with this free throw here. 52-51. Lindsay needs this one to tie it up. 34.7 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Lindsay, once again, no hesitation. Tie ball game. 52 all. 32 seconds left. Lady Raiders have it. Trying to work it across half court. They do to Williams. She's there at the top of the key. She tries to drive in. Does. Rolls around the basket. Her shot and good. 54-52. The Lady Raiders lead. 18 seconds left. Lady Wildcats have to move quickly here. Demetrius Strickland has it, but Coach Taylor calls a timeout here. 13 seconds left in this ball game, and a lot of fans wanted a walk here called at the top of the key as Williams wasn't quite set. She ends up kind of reaching around and scooping a shot up there by Zayana Stewart to earn a 54-52 lead for Cleveland.
Yeah, the Lady Wildcats are down by 2 points, and you can just kind of feel the energy in here. The crowd's really getting into it. I mean, I almost feel like you can probably hear the crowd over me sometimes in this stream, but I think the Lady Wildcats are doing what they need to do. They're getting the ball back after this timeout, and if they play smart, they can possibly get another possession, or they could tie it up and take it into overtime.
David Clary letting us know that the last overtime game, which the Lady Wildcats might earn here or hope to earn here with a 2-point shot to tie the game or a 3-pointer to win it, possibly. But the last overtime game the Lady Wildcats played was 2019 against Bradley County. So another team from Bradley County trying to take down the Lady Wildcats here with 13.7 seconds left. Zayana Stewart to inbound it. She does to Jenna Johnson. Jenna on a nice cut there. Basket good. Tie game. Great pass by Zayana Stewart to Jenna Johnson. Oh, and they're going to call a foul on the pass attempt on Zayana Stewart with 5.9 seconds left. Obviously, you can hear the fans are upset with the call. To me, Josh, it looked like both of them, Zayana Stewart and I guess Williams, who is going to the line for the Lady Raiders. We're going for the ball. It looked like they were going for the ball. Both have the right.
I think it should have been a no call. Just let them play. Now you got 5.9 seconds left, and if she makes this, that could be game.
Maya Williams makes her first free throw there, 55-54, with 5.9 seconds left for the Lady Raiders. They obviously tell their people to back up. Most of their players, besides Williams, are at half court, who makes her second free throw. Coach Taylor calls a timeout with 5.9 seconds left. Down by 2, 56-54. It is going to be a 30-second timeout. We will hold it right here. As I don't know, Josh, maybe I'm just not seeing things correctly, and maybe we just have a little bit better vantage point up here in the booth, but it really looked like Zayana and Williams were going for the ball there, and it really was just a bad call. It should have been a no call, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. They were both going for the ball. I don't think there was a foul. I definitely think it should have been a no call, especially when you've got just under 6 seconds left of the game, and now these calls are absolutely crucial because they can determine the winner of this game, whereas you get the no call, and it's still anybody's game at that point. But Oak Ridge is down by 2. They are going to get the ball back, and they've got to be smart, and they've got to make a good quality, high percentage shot here to take it into overtime.
Coach Taylor has a couple substitutions in the game. Bella Boone is now in the game. We will be speaking to Coach Taylor shortly here as the game ends. They get it into Ayana Porter. Ayana working it at half court with 3 seconds left. 2 seconds. Demetria Strickland for 3. Off the rim and no good. Lady Wildcats earned a great shot there around the 3-point line. You know, probably would have liked to have had a little bit closer shot. A little bit slow getting up to court, and the Lady Wildcats do fall 56-54. But what a back and forth game. You know, Lady Wildcat fans may not be happy with the loss, but what you want to see is that continued fight and continue to get better. And the Lady Wildcats are still sitting really good in the district, even though this was a non-district game.
Absolutely. It was a quality, not quality, but, well, it was. You know what I mean, James. It was a good game. It was a good back and forth. They played well. I think that was a little bit of a long 3. Maybe you take a step or two in, get a little closer. Maybe you have a higher percentage shot and you make that. You end up with a win over Cleveland. But we also got to remember, we just talked about Cleveland's workload this season so far, and they played some good schools. They're a good team, and Oak Ridge kept up with them to the very end of this game. So definitely some bright points to this game, and hopefully the Lady Wildcats can come back in their next game and end up with a W in that one.
You're absolutely right, Josh, as the Wildcats are now on the court warming up, hoping to speak to Coach Taylor here shortly after she speaks with her team. We'll be looking forward to speaking with her. We will be back here in about 3 minutes as the Wildcats are now warming up. Lady Wildcats do fall tonight, 56-54, as to the Lady Raiders. But we'll be back in 2 minutes. James Branson back here at Wildcat Arena as we are getting ready for the boys game against Cleveland here, the boys varsity game, as Emmett Branson is here joining us in the booth tonight. Emmett, what were your thoughts there on the Lady Wildcats as, they had a chance to win it there? They played really well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was really good.
Emmett is joining us. Obviously, he is my son, but I don't know if that's a great thing or not. He's been helping us up here along with Ethan Eubanks tonight. Gavin Kintop has been doing our ground camera, as well as Nicholas Suttles made his his appearance here. Nice to see him. And David Clary, obviously the director back at the station for us. Josh Frazier doing a great job on his 35th birthday. We appreciate him joining us here tonight and celebrating that with us. The Wildcats have been off to a good start so far this year. They are 7-0, 2-0 in the district. So just like the Lady Wildcats going well in the district, stepping out of district play to play Cleveland, it's been a series that has really been back and forth, been very competitive on both sides for the Wildcats and the Cleveland Blue Raiders. The Blue Raiders a couple years ago made it close to the state tournament, had a really good team, as well as the Wildcats, who have made really deep runs into the region and sub-state, and really good runs a couple years ago into the state tournament. So very competitive teams on both sides here, as we have about 8 minutes left before the start of the game, and Coach Taylor will be joining us to discuss the keys to tonight's game and their loss. The JV team earlier tonight won 64-58 over the Cleveland Blue Raiders, as they also had a back and forth game. Would like to let you know that the Lady Wildcats will be heading up once again to Greenville for the tournament in Greenville, the Andrew Johnson Bank Ladies Classic. The Lady Wildcats have played in this tournament numerous times. A lot of really good women's players in Tennessee and the surrounding states have come to this tournament. The Lady Wildcats, it looks like they will be playing December 28th at 12 p.m. in Greenville. They will be playing a team out of Thomasdale, Virginia. So the tournament draws really good teams nationally, not just from that area, but Virginia, very close, obviously, to Greenville up there. If I remember from last year's program, at one point, the head coach of the Lady Vols, Kelly Harper, one time called Kelly Jolly, played in that tournament back in the 90s. As we'd like to make a quick announcement here about the Oak Ridge Boys and Girls High School teams. They are doing a fundraiser with their Christmas fundraiser every year. The Oak Ridge Boys and Girls teams will take children that have been selected by the District Family Resource Center on a special Christmas shopping trip. The goal is to spend $100 each on as many children as possible on December 18th. Please drop off donations at ORHS. Checks only made out to the ORHS basketball boosters, or mail them to P.O. Box 5834, Oak Ridge, Tennessee 37831. If you need more information, you may contact head basketball coach Aaron Green at 423-595-1829, or you may email him at hagreen@ortn.edu. And that's a great fundraiser that the boys and girls basketball teams do every year, and it's a really good opportunity for young children in their community to be able to shop for their families and shop for each other. As still waiting for Coach Taylor to come up here, and David Clary doing a great job, obviously keeping me updated, as he is telling me that Coach Taylor, Coach Page, head coach of the Lady Wildcats, was the MVP of the Ladies Classic in Greenville her senior year, and she played on a really good team, went on to have a great career at Vanderbilt, and was a part of really good Bradley County squads down in Cleveland. And she will be coming up if we don't get her now at halftime. Josh, as we get ready here for the start of the boys game, what are your thoughts kind of going into this game here? And what's a little background information that you have here on the Oak Ridge and boys team and the Cleveland Blue Raiders?
Well, first of all, thank you, James, for that wonderful introduction and reminding me that I'm 35 throughout the night. My hip hurts a little bit now, but, like I said earlier, another year older, another year wiser. Now, as far as Cleveland and Oak Ridge, Cleveland is coming in with an 8-1 record with victories over Chattanooga Prep, Silverdale Academy, Thomasville, Georgia, PK Young from Florida, Bradley Central, Ray County, Howard, and a 69-68 one-point win at Bearden. Their lone loss was against the Catholic Fighting Irish at home on December 3rd. Last season, Cleveland finished with a disappointing 13-18 record. Disappointing for a team with so much of a tradition of winning, but it seems like they've bounced back nicely with their good start this season. And right now, Oak Ridge at 7-0 equaled their best start since 2016-17 season when they went 12-0 to begin. Now, the record for an Oak Ridge boys team is a 15-0 start, which they did in the 2015-2016 season. They also had a 14-0 start in 2014-2015. You may recall these were the T. Higgins years, who obviously most people know as the wide receiver for the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals from the Super Bowl last year. Quick starts aren't rare for the program, but after graduating all 6 starters from last season's team, it's a pretty nice accomplishment.
I see you mentioned T. Higgins there. I think that guy was pretty good. Not.
Yeah, just a tad bit good,
I mean, he did win a national championship, and he was pretty good here. Had a couple nice catches, and ran into I believe it was his freshman or sophomore year. Was on the team that played for a state championship. Ran into a Blackman-led Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings led the Blackman team that year, and former Oak Ridge head coach Barry Wortman was the head coach of the Blackman team, Blackman Blaze, that year that they won the state championship, and Oak Ridge finished runners-up. We have about 2 minutes here left prior to the start of the Raiders of Cleveland and the Oak Ridge Wildcats game at Oak Ridge Wildcat Arena in Jill Pruden Court. We will go ahead and take a 1-minute break and be back for the start of that game. James Branson back here at Oak Ridge Wildcat Arena, joined by Ben Frazier. As we are getting ready for the boys game against the Blue Raiders. Starting lineups about to be called here for each team. We'll start with the Blue Raiders of Cleveland, as they are the visiting team. They will be dressed in their blue uniforms, trimmed in the red numbers, trimmed in white. Oak Ridge will be coming out in their all-white uniforms and their cardinal numbers. The head coach for the Oak Ridge Wildcats, obviously, is Coach Aaron Green. And the starting lineups will be number 22, Alex Hyder. Number 11, Jason Brooks for the Blue Raiders. Both of those are seniors, as well as number 23, Gabe Leeper, and number 5, Judah Salt, and number 4, additional senior, our Thomas. The starting lineup for the Oak Ridge Wildcats tonight will be, who are led by head coach Aaron Green, as we've said. Ted Mitchell will be assisting tonight, as well as Coach Green's father, who will be assisting tonight. Ronnie Scott, the other assistant for the Wildcats. Number 1, Lucas Thomas, who is a senior forward, will be starting for the Wildcats. Grayson Strader, who is a senior, will be starting for the Wildcats. Junior, number 10, Brennan Scott, will be starting for the Wildcats. Number 11, Raekwon Watson, who is a sophomore, will be starting for the Wildcats. And Caden Breithart will be starting. He is number 20, and he is a junior. Coach Danny Green will be assisting tonight. I believe I got almost all of the starters and the coaches for the Wildcats in here as we're about to have tip-off. Lucas Hammonds will be jumping, and it will be Cleveland controlling the ball there for the first possession. It will go out of bounds, and will it be off of Oak Ridge or will it be off of Cleveland? They say off of Oak Ridge. It will be number 23 for them, Gabe Leeper, trying to work it in, and he does, and he gets it into Brooks. Brooks looks try to get an entry pass there, but he is guarded by Grayson Strader. He is at the top of the key, wants to drive in the lane. He does, throws it up off the glass, and good. Brooks has the first 2 points for Cleveland. Raekwon Watson quickly comes back up the court there and gets it over to Grayson Strader with 7:30. And a quick shot there by Scott. That would be Brennan Scott. Brennan Scott's three-pointer is off the rim and is going to be tipped out of bounds there. It will be ball over to Cleveland. Cleveland leading 2-0. 7:27 in the first quarter there as they get it into Leeper. Leeper guarded there by Raekwon Watson as they work it up to half court. Taking his time, he does get it across half court as the Wildcats set up their defense. Raekwon Watson guards him closely, and he gets it over there to number 4, Thomas. Thomas now has it, and he hands it off to Brooks. Brooks, who got the first 2 points once more, and he nails that three-pointer, guarded by Breithart there. So quick 5 points for Jason Brooks, 5-0 lead, 6:50 in the first quarter here for the Wildcats as they trail. Raekwon Watson has it, trying to drive into the lane, hands it off there to Caden. Caden Breithart has it, wants to drive into the lane. He does, spins around, shot off the glass, and it rolls around good. Nice little balanced shot there by Caden Breithart. And Cleveland works it in with a 3-point lead. They get it over to number 5, Salt. And he rubs a little salt in the wound there and is going to go to the line for a free throw after the bucket that is counted. 7-2 currently the lead for the Blue Raiders with 6:21 left in the first quarter. His free throw is good. Now a 6-point lead for the Blue Raiders, 8-2 over the Wildcats. Raekwon Watson has it with 6:15 left in the first quarter. Caden has it, Breithart, he drives baseline, kicks it out to Raekwon. Raekwon over to Brennan Scott. Tip pass gets over to Grayson Strader. Strader wants to drive in the lane and passes it off, but it's intercepted there by Brooks. Brooks takes it, wants to shake and bake, steps back, tries to hit a 3, no good, and it's going to be tipped out to Leeper, who gets it back to Brooks. Brooks tries to get it over to Salt, to Leeper again in the corner, tries to drive in the lane, does Salt, goes up off the glass, no good, but he was once again fouled, and that should be the second foul, team foul, on the Wildcats with 5:45 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, it looks like Cleveland's gotten off to a hot start. They got a couple of good quality shots, made them both, got up 5-0 pretty quick, and then now they're feeling the momentum, and they're trying to hit those threes. They're getting those rebounds, and Oak Ridge really has to step up their defense, and they've got to settle down, calm those nerves, and get some good quality shots in.
Salt converts on both of his free throws to extend the lead to 8, 10-2 over the Wildcats with 5:40 left in the first quarter. Raekwon Watson tries to sidestep into the lane. Shot no good. Rebounded, taken by Cleveland. Cleveland has it now with Hyder. Hyder works it over to Salt, who gets it back over to Thomas. Thomas, his three-point shot no good. Rebounded by Raekwon Watson. He comes up the court quick, gets it to Brennan Scott. Brennan turns around, tries to get it back out to Strader, who ends up with it. He tries to drive in the lane. Tall, lengthy Strader drives in, no good. Rebounded by Cleveland. They come down eventually with Salt, who walks, but no call, and he gets 2 points up off the glass. 12-2 the lead. 10-point lead as Coach Green wants a quick timeout with 5:02 left in the first quarter. We will take that timeout with him it will be a 30-second timeout. Wildcats trail 12-2. James Branson as well as Josh Fraser back here. Ethan Eubanks, not only scout extraordinaire tonight, but cameraman helping us out here, giving us little tips on what the Wildcats had seen on Cleveland. Raekwon Watson inbounds it, nearly dribbles it off his foot, gets it back though with 4:50 left in the first quarter. Grayson Strader has it with down 12-2. He gets it over to Caden Brightheart. Brightheart drives in the lane, tries to go off the glass, no good, but Lucas Hammonds comes up with it. He tries his shot, no good. Brightheart again gets the rebound, steps out, shot no good, but rebounded once again by Cleveland, and Lucas will commit a foul on Salt, you know, pretty far away from his own basket. You don't like to commit fouls that far away.
Yeah, absolutely. Oak Ridge, they really need to focus, settle down, and get back in this game. Play some defense, make them work for everything, and then they've also got to get some good high-quality shots. Set yourself up, get those inside layups, inside drives, and take that momentum away from Cleveland.
4:27 left in the first quarter. Cleveland has it now with Salt, who tries to drive baseline, kicks it out there to Thomas. Thomas works it around over back to Salt. Salt again works it down to Brooks. Brooks, who has it at the top of the key, guarded by Raekwon Watson for a three. Good. And that was really good defense there. That was just a great shot by Brooks, who extends the lead to 13, 15-2, the lead for the Blue Raiders of Cleveland. Wildcats have it, and it's taken away there by Brooks. Brooks pushes off a little bit, tries to dunk, no good, and Grayson Strader ends up coming back with the rebound, even though he was fouled by Salt, no call. Grayson trying to go coast to coast, gives it off to Brightheart, who goes off the glass, good. Caden Brightheart with all 4 points so far for the Wildcats, even though they're down by 11. Quick three-point shot, no good, and a foul is going to be called. It's going to be a block pushing foul on, I believe, it should be number 4, Thomas, who is a really good player, started off really well scoring-wise for them. I believe had the first 5 points of the game. Wildcats trail by 11, 15-4, 3:33 left in the first quarter. Raekwon has it, drives into the lane, kicks it out, but it's going to be intercepted there by Hayter. Hayter comes up the court with it, tries to drive in the lane, guarded by Raekwon Watson. Shot no good. Rebound goes to Bryson Comer, who just came into the game. Raekwon gets it back up court quickly to Brennan Scott. Brennan drives baseline, gets it back over to Bryson Comer. Comer over to Watson. Wildcats trying to settle it down with 3:05 left in the game. Watson drives into the lane. Shot good. Raekwon Watson making a few moves there and brings the lead down to 9, 15-6 with 2:55 left in the first half here. Raiders have it. Brooks drives in the lane. It's going to be a shot up and good. And it looks like a blocking foul will be called, I believe, on Raekwon Watson. And no, it'll be on Bryson Comer. That will be the fourth team foul on the Wildcats, as Raekwon Watson, who has played the majority of the first quarter, comes out. Jaquez Thomas comes in. He is a junior, first action of the night, as the Wildcats are down 17-6, 2:50 left in the first quarter here, as Brooks makes his first free throw.
Yeah, the Wildcats, they really got to put some work in here, and they've got to knock Cleveland off their game. It seems like they're basically just doing almost whatever they want. They're getting turnovers. They're getting fast breaks. I mean, they're even have shots for possible dunks going on right here. They need to knock them off their game so that way they can score some points.
Wildcats having a little bit of trouble working the ball in. They eventually did to Jaquez Thomas, who got it over to Caden Brightheart. Officials having a little bit of a discussion here as to the issue here. They believe there's a clock issue because the clock just went from 2:44 left to 2:40. as Marcus Peters now in the game for the Wildcats, and he inbounds it to Thomas. Jaquez Thomas back over to Marcus Peters in the corner. Back over to Jaquez with 2:30 left in the first quarter here. Works it over to Brennan Scott. Does Jaquez for three? Brennan Scott cuts the lead to 9, 18-9. The Wildcats now trail with 2:20 left in the first quarter here.
Yeah, that was a great shot, and hopefully it can throw Cleveland off their game and it can build the momentum up for Oak Ridge. It looks like they're trying to up the pace on their end of the court and get some of those quick scores and knock this lead down to something that's a little bit more manageable.
That would be Caden Brighthart driving into the lane there, drawing a foul. Caden has 4 points on the night so far. He's been a little bit of the spark that the Wildcats needed to start the game here, and he earned a trip to the free throw line. 2 shots as he missed the layup. His first shot is good, cuts the lead to 8, 18-10. The Wildcats trail 2:06 in the first quarter. I'm sorry. Keep saying that, but it's okay. We'll fix it. His second free throw. He eyes his shot up and no good, but rebound goes to the Wildcats. Brennan Scott for 3 again. He nails it. Cuts the lead to 5.
Beautiful 4-point play basically right there. Misses the second free throw. They grab the rebound, hits the 3. Now I think the momentum is fully in Oak Ridge's favor right now, and Cleveland could be playing catch up here shortly.
Cleveland had a quick start as they have the ball with 2:38 left in the first half. They take a 3, guarded 3 there by Brooks, and he nails another one. That guy can shoot.
Absolutely. He's been the #1 man for that Cleveland team. When Cleveland gets in a situation, he seems to just be able to get them out of it with a quick 3-pointer.
Oak Ridge has it with Caden Brighthart trying to drive the lane once again. Nearly has it taken away. Goes in, shot out the glass, good. Caden Brighthart, 7 points so far of the 15 for the Wildcats. 21-15, the Wildcats trail by 6, 1:03 left in the first quarter here. And if you can keep it at about 5 as the Wildcats trying to trap, the Blue Raiders eventually get it to the corner, and Brooks just nailed a long 3 again. And that extends the lead 24-15 with 44 seconds left in the first quarter here. Brighthart brings it back up to court quickly. Brennan Scott trying to go basically you did this, I can match it, as he has most of the half here. Tip pass, though, is going to go out of bounds. Tip by Cleveland. Jaquez Thomas there trying to get it, but it will be Oak Ridge ball. Marcus Peters to inbound, 31 seconds, 24-15 the lead for the Blue Raiders. Jaquez Thomas has it, gets to Caden Brighthart. Brighthart tries to drive into the lane. He spins around, shot up off the glass, no good, going to be rebounded. Little bump there, but Cleveland comes away with it to Salt. Salt has it, skip pass across court to number 22, Hayter for 3. 27-15 the lead for the Blue Raiders of Cleveland. 10 seconds left. Jaquez Thomas here works it over to Brighthart, playing for the last shot. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Cade needs to do something with it. Shoot it, hand it off, something. And the Wildcats don't end up getting anything out of that possession. And in a game where it's been back and forth, the Wildcats really needed something there to close out the quarter. But credit the Wildcats. It wasn't going well to start. Battled back, got to within about 5 or 6, and trail 27-15.
Yeah, they definitely had a rough start, but at the same time, Cleveland had a hot start with those 3s right off the bat, some free throws, but instead of sinking and getting into the mentality of, oh man, these guys can shoot, we're not doing well, they fought back and they fought hard. But it's hard when you've got a team that can shoot 3s like they've shot in the first quarter already. I mean, I've already tallied up 6, 7 3s for Cleveland tonight. That's the majority of their points right there. 21 out of their 27 so far.
Yeah, it's not a great start for the Wildcats there, as Cleveland, as you said, came out hot, getting 21 of their 27 points off the three-point ball so far. But, you know, Caden Brighthart, a bright spot for the Wildcats starting. Brennan Scott coming in, nailing 2 3s. really kind of carrying the load. Raekwon Watson really testing the waters there early and trying to drive into the lane. But the Wildcats start with the ball here. Opportunity to come back, make a little comeback here as they inbound it down 27-15. Grayson Strader has it over to Raekwon Watson. Raekwon looks inside but gets it back to Grayson. Grayson does get it to Caden, who hands it off to Raekwon, thinks about a shot, backs it back out around the three-point line to Caden Brightheart. Brightheart tries to get inside on a cutting Strader, but it's intercepted by Salt. Salt comes back, tries to settle it down over to Leaper. Leaper directing the offense, guarded by Caden Brightheart. 7:30 left in the first half here. Salt has it, and a long three-point shot again. Finally a miss, though, that will be Brooks. Raekwon Watson wants to go quick, gets it up to Strader, off the glass, good! Cuts the lead to 10, 27-17 with 7:15 left in the first half here. Raekwon Watson getting a little dish down there to Grayson Strader. Be great to get him going.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's been quite a while since we've seen a missed shot from Cleveland, but Oak Ridge is fighting, and I love it. They're coming back. They're keeping the scoring down to a minimum. Now if they can quit giving Cleveland those turnovers, we may have a game here in probably about a minute or so.
Cleveland misses another shot and gives the Oak Ridge offense the opportunity to get even closer on this. The Wildcats try to inbound it. They get it to Hammonds. Hammonds tips it over to Strader as he works it to Raekwon Watson. 6:45 left in the first half here. 27-17 the lead for Cleveland as Grayson needs to hand it off. He does to Raekwon in the corner. Gets it back over to Grayson, to Caden, to Brennan. Can't leave him open, but he tries to drive. Hands it off to Lucas Hammond. Shot no good, but he earned a trip to the free throw line with a foul there. It will be the third team foul on Cleveland. It will be on number 22, Hayter Hammond, to the free throw line for his free throws.
Well, here we go. Back to these, as we said in the last game, these free points. Easy points. Another one. If he hits a second one here, that puts him within 8. Definitely a very manageable game for Oak Ridge at this point.
Lucas does convert on both free throws and makes it a 8-point game, 27-19 with 6:29 left in the second quarter here. It will be Cleveland's ball to inbound. Looks like the Wildcats are going to put a little bit of full court pressure on, see how Cleveland responds, but they back out of it and end up doing a little man pressure as Brightheart guards. That would be Brooks there, trapped by Raekwon. They get it over to a new man in the game, Lambert. That is Drew Lambert. He gets it back over to Hayter. Hayter to Salt. Salt guarded by Grayson. And a pass entry goes there to Lambert. Lambert back out to Thomas. Thomas works it back around to Brooks. Can't leave that guy open. It's going to be tipped away by Brightheart. Brightheart takes it, tries to drive in the lane. He goes up, shot no good. Going to be rebounded, though, by Grayson Strader. He tracks it down. Raekwon Watson drives in the lane. Over to Caden Brightheart. Tries to drive baseline again. Tosses it back out. Going to be taken by Bryson Comer. 5:50 left in the second quarter. 27-19. Raekwon Watson says, let's settle it down. Get in our offense. Over to Bryson Comer, to Raekwon. Raekwon has the option to drive the lane. He does. Throws it off the glass. Good! Raekwon Watson cuts it to 6. 27-21. 5:35 left in the second quarter.
And that was just a great possession. They got the turnover, came back. It was a little frantic. Then they settled down, got their guys where they wanted to be. And now we got a 21-27 game.
Great pressure there by Bryson Comer. Extended the trap at half court. Over and back is what's called, and great defense, great turnover by the Wildcats.
Absolutely. The momentum is completely in Oak Ridge's favor now. They've got the ball. Keep it settled. Get an easy shot. And let's make this a 4-point game at this point.
Grayson Strader hits a little jumper there right at the elbow, or not, I'm sorry, not at the elbow, down low at the post. 27-23, the lead for Cleveland as the Wildcats have clawed back in. 5 minutes left in the second quarter here as Cleveland has it, top of the key with Thomas. Thomas trying to look to hand it off, guarded by Grayson Strader. He's trying to drive in the lane, ends up coming back out and has nowhere to throw it, but ends up getting it to Salt. Over toward the wing. He works it up to the top of the key, back to Hayter. Hayter tries to drive in, guarded by Brennan Scott. Good defense there. And a pass over to Thomas. Thomas over to Lambert. Lambert trying to drive into the lane, guarded by Raekwon Watson, blocked. But Lambert comes back up with it. Grayson Strader on the defense. Grayson gets it up to Raekwon. He races up to court, into the lane, over to Brennan Scott for three. No good. Rebound though to Strader. Strader good. Strader cuts it to two. 27-25. 4:10 left in the second quarter. The Wildcats are alive as they have 2 points deficit, and we will take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back to Wildcat Arena. James Branson, along with Josh Fraser, Ethan Eubanks, David Clary working the controls back at the station for us. Gavin Kintop, as the Wildcats are back on a 10-0 run, thanks to David Clary keeping us updated there. 27-25. The Wildcats now trail by 2 with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Leaper has the ball now, tries to get it inside, nearly a turnover by Cleveland, but they chase it down. They have it there with Brooks. Brooks, who throws up another three, no good. That's 2 in a row he's missed. Hopefully he's cooling off. Rebound by Raekwon Watson, and foul going to be called on Hayter. That is going to be the 4th team foul, and I believe the second foul on Hayter.
Yeah, I think you're correct. I want to say, I feel like this Cleveland team is a little rattled. Oak Ridge has just stormed back. They've played good defense. They've gotten turnovers and taken advantage of each one of those turnovers. And Cleveland just seems rattled. They're out of their game that they started so hot in the first quarter. So
Grayson Strader gets the ball inside, up off the glass. Good tie ball game. 12-0 run by the Wildcats, who are showing a lot of poise to fight back in here. Now we just got to keep the momentum up. 3:20 left in the second quarter here. Raekwon Watson trying to put pressure on Leaper. He tries to fight through a screen, does, and they get the ball over to Lambert. Lambert has it nearly stripped away, and Coach Green says it's a Wildcat ball, but I believe it is going to be out of bounds on the strip. 27 all after a hectic start. Wildcats able to recover. 3:13 in the second quarter. Lambert to inbound for the Blue Raiders. He does to Salt. Salt looking to drive inside and on Grayson. Salt is going to have it stripped away by Bryson Comer, who commits the foul there. That is going to be the 5th team foul on the Wildcats, which will earn the Blue Raiders a inbound. They do to Salt. Salt works it over to Brooks. Brooks trying to pass. He does. He gets it to Gobber. Gobber to Brooks. Brooks trying to get another look at a three, but ends up having to pass it. They work it over to Salt. Salt again to Lambert. Wildcats are doing a really good job here on Brooks, who comes off a screen for three. No good. 3 threes missed in a row. Long pass there by Raekwon Watson to Caden Brightheart, who just not able to come up with a conversion. Nice little pass, just a little too much heat on it there. But the Wildcats really doing a great job of clamping down the defense. 27-27, 2:40 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, the defense has been great. I mean, Cleveland, they couldn't miss just a few minutes ago, and now they can't even get in and get a basket. Meanwhile, Oak Ridge is just stolen all that mojo that Cleveland's had, and they can't seem to miss now except for that one turnover just now.
Gobber misses a open three. Rebound to Cleveland. Their shot no good. Going to be rebounded there by Bryson Comer. Bryson comes back up with it to Raekwon. He gets it to Caden Brightheart. Caden settles down the offense. Back out to Raekwon Watson. 27-27. 2:05 left in the second quarter. Raekwon dishes off to Bryson Comer. He works inside. Shot up. Good. Wildcats have their first lead. 29-27 in this ball game. And on the inbound, I believe Raekwon Watson's going to commit a foul on Leaper. Looks like Cleveland will substitute. That will be the 6th team foul on the Wildcats. Cleveland trying to substitute number 22, Alex Hayter, back in for Camden Gobber. And it will be Cleveland's ball on the inbound. It will be Thomas to inbound for them. He inbounds to Leaper. Leaper met by Raekwon Watson with 1:50 left in the second quarter. 29-27, Wildcats have a 2-point lead. Oh, and they're going to say that Raekwon pushed him out of bounds. Oh, what a nice little fake there by Leaper. Leaper, who pretended to get pushed, fell out of bounds, and the referees, or officials, I'm sorry, call a foul on Raekwon. That should be his second, I believe, here pretty quickly.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, it looked like he fell out. It was a smart play on his part. Get some easy points. Get back in the swing of things possibly for Cleveland. Although it's going to be hard because Oak Ridge is feeling it right now. And it looks like they can't do anything wrong at this point.
Bryce Davis substitutes into the game for Raekwon Watson. Leaper, who earned a shot at the free throw line with that little fake foul. And he misses. Wildcats come up with Bryson Comer, gets it to Bryce Davis. Price has it, and he is guarded by Leaper. Comes off a screen by Strader. He steps into the lane, up off the glass. Good! Bryce Davis, immediate impact. And he's going to earn a technical foul, I believe, for taunting. That would be number 23 for the Blue Raiders.
Now, while I did mention they're feeling the momentum and they're feeling their shots right now, you still got to keep a little composure because that taunting, that'll get you in trouble down here for sure.
Bryce Davis goes in with the layup, converts on the layup, and he has earned a free throw shot because of the foul. And what occurred was he taunted, got into the face of, I believe, Leaper, and got a technical foul. Price does miss, but the Wildcats do have, I believe, a 31 now to 27 lead, which is a 16-0 run for the Wildcats. Now it will be Cleveland's turn to shoot the technical foul shot. Cleveland will also get possession after the foul shots here with 1:33 left in the second quarter.
Well, as long as Oak Ridge can keep doing what they're doing, I think they're in a good position to keep this lead that they fought so hard to gain over Cleveland.
Brooks missed the first free throw, and on the second free throw also misses that. So Brooks, who couldn't miss from three-point land, has missed 3 threes in a row, and now missed 2 free throws. I do believe the scoreboard is wrong. Now they have fixed it. It is a 4-point lead, 31-27 Wildcats lead, but it will be Cleveland ball because of the technical foul. 1:30 left in the second quarter here. Wildcats lead by 4, 31-27. Leaper has it, guarded by Price Davis. Price has a strip. He takes it away, going into the lane. Going to be taken away by Leaper in return, but Price gets back on defense to try to put pressure on him. 1:10 left in the first half here. Price Davis, Leaper, who is under a lot of pressure from Price, and he is going to drive in the lane. Shot no good, but a foul is going to be called. Who is it going to be on? It will be on the Wildcats. It will be the 8th foul. It will be a 1-and-1. And I believe Coach Green is also upset here. Coach Green was upset about the foul, and Coach Green has just been given a technical foul. And so that is very key because Coach Green is going to have to be careful. He is obviously clearly upset, not only about the foul that was called, but obviously being given the technical foul. Leaper will go to the line. Leaper has his free throw shot, no good. Playing off the iron, to quote David Clary there, as the Raiders can't buy a bucket.
Yeah, and what an atmosphere. This arena is absolutely deafening. I feel like I'm having to scream just to hear myself. And yeah, Coach was hot. He got that tee. He's got to be careful. I don't blame him for being hot, but you can't put the team in danger. And I believe it's one more technical, and then he's gone, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So
That will be Leaper. He did convert on the second free throw, converts on his third free throw there, which is the first 2 points in a 16-2 run for the Wildcats in favor of them. 31-29 now the score for the Wildcats, who lead by 2. Leaper hits the last free throw with 1:03 on the clock. Cleveland again will earn the possession here coming out of the free throws because of the technicals. 31-30, the Wildcats lead with 1:03 left. Cleveland ball will be Salt to inbound. He does try to get it in and works it into, that will be Thomas. Thomas brings it across, guarded by Strader. Strader trying to lock down the defense there, works it over to Brooks. Brooks backs it out, trying to set up their offense with 50 seconds left. Brooks loses a dribble but picks it back up, gets it over to Thomas. Thomas walks with it. It's going to be a turnover right near the Oak Ridge student section. Oak Ridge ball with 45 seconds left.
yeah, those turnovers, they're killing Cleveland right now, and they've been killing them for quite some time, really the majority of the second quarters, and Oak Ridge is completely taking advantage of it. Let's see if they can do it again.
31-30, Oak Ridge leads with 38 seconds left in this first half here. Bryson Comer has it, works it to Price Davis. Been a little bit of a spark plug here coming off the bench. Tipped out of Price's hands, and they will say that he touched it last, as it will be Cleveland ball. Raekwon Watson subs back in for Price Davis, who did a great job coming in, creating some turnover and points there to help get the Wildcats the lead. 30 seconds, 31-30, the Wildcat lead as they have fought back in here. Leaper has it as he is about to cross half court here. Raekwon Watson guarding him. It's going to be worked over to Lambert. Lambert works toward the top of the key, trying to find a pass, but he walks with it too. 2 walks in a row by Cleveland, and just not able to convert there, and the Wildcats have Cleveland all out of sorts.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, they were rattled earlier, but now they're extremely rattled. Turnovers, easy mistakes, and it's going to turn into points for Oak Ridge.
Caden Brightheart here drives the lane with 7 seconds left, and he tries to go in. He started the scoring off for the Wildcats with 4 points, but he loses it out of bounds, and it should be Cleveland's inbound with 7.1 left. It will be with a 31-31 lead for the Wildcats. It will be Brooks to inbound. He does to Leaper. 5 seconds as he crosses half court. Brooks tries to drive into the lane, steps back out for a shot. No good. Going to be rebounded by Grayson Strader. And in the most unthinkable comeback here, the Wildcats at one point, I believe, down by 15 points in the first quarter, roar back, 16-0 run. Eventually, the scoring drought dropped there by Cleveland. 3 points on free throws, not three-pointers, but free throws by Leaper. And Oak Ridge has a 31-30 lead at halftime.
Yeah, it's a complete turnaround in this second quarter. If you told me that in the second quarter Cleveland would have such a drought and couldn't buy a bucket to save their life after the start they had at the beginning, I'd have thought you were crazy. But Oak Ridge has turned it around. Cleveland's rattled, and things are looking up for Oak Ridge in the second half.
We will hold it right here as the head coach of the Lady Wildcats has come up to join us. Coach Taylor coming up to meet us. The Lady Wildcats losing here tonight. It was 56-54, but, you know, Coach, I think your team showed a lot of fight. And I know that's not something that you always want to hear, but started off a little bit rough, and then you came back and you continued to fight. You took the lead, and it was really a back-and-forth game there. And I thought you guys played really well as a team once we kind of got settled into what we needed to.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I felt like it was a very hard-fought game. You know, prior to us starting our district with the tough schedule that we played, I felt like we always played 2 quarters, but we never played 4 quarters. And I think we had that growth in our district, and we've been working with our points of emphasis is in practice has stepped up the level of how hard we're working. And so I think that you've seen that there's been growth in 2 weeks. There's definitely been growth because our team 2 weeks ago could not have played the 4 quarters that we played tonight. And it's like I told them, how many in the first half, how many offensive rebounds did we give up?
Right.
Their points came from offensive rebounds and the free throw line. That's the difference in that. And how many wide open shots did we get? And we just didn't knock them down. It's not that they took us out of our game offensively. We got exactly what we wanted. We just weren't able to knock down shots. And that's you just got to work at that. You got to be able to knock down shots. And, we had some breakdowns again in the second half with some allowing them to get offensive rebounds, but I feel like our effort was truly there. The fact that I could call a timeout and draw up a play that we haven't worked on in practice at all, and this team actually went out and executed that play and scored on that play, wouldn't have happened 2 weeks ago. The focus and the buying in, the mentality, it's there. And so I'm super proud. I mean, yeah, we could sit here and, we could nitpick it. I can nitpick it apart, but, nobody, I'm not happy with losing. I'm not happy with losing that game. I'm happy where this team has gone in 2 weeks.
I would 100% agree with that. I mean, as you said, everybody's just going to look at your record alone sometimes and be like, oh, well, they're, not that good, or they've only won this many games or whatever, but they also might not look at the strength of schedule.
Right.
Alcoa, the past couple of years has been state contender teams,
Right.
state tournament contender teams. And I think you mentioned the length a little bit there. I think Lauren Hurst, I believe,
Yeah.
number 13 for them, had a pretty good game, but I think at some point Cleveland got a little bit selfish and kind of going for their own shot, and that's where you guys really came together.
Yeah, our half court defense was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was there. We did what we needed to do. We had some breakdowns once they started. They were going to what they have. The well, as the old school would say. They were going to 13, and she was just bullying her way down there. And those are things that experience and give this young team some experience, and they'll be able to stop 1 or 2 times. Yeah, but we're going to put a stop to that. And so, and again, those are things that we got to work on so they know how to put a stop to that. But I felt like our game plan, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to execute offensively and defensively, I felt like, these girls did what we asked them to do.
I would say one of the key moments I believe in the game, and it was right in front of you, and I know you were probably upset about it too, was when number 13 for them lowered her shoulder and went into Zayana. And Zayana, I thought, was in really good defensive position, and they ended up calling a blocking foul instead of a charge. And it's things like that, but your mentality never wore off.
No, the mentality never wore off. The fight, the focus, the desire to win, it never wore off.
Well, Coach, I hate to say it, but your schedule doesn't get much easier as we head to Greenville here pretty quickly over Christmas break.
And we got 2 before that. That's not going to be easy. So
the district schedule, though, is really, you hate to boil it down to a simple fact, but district, we've started off really well. Central and Powell. Powell may not necessarily be what they have been with the Trum girls the past couple years, but to get some traction going, especially in the district, is really what you want to do.
It is. And, we're at the point in our season where we're taking a break from our district. But when we come back, we started the district. That's a whole different season than all the out-of-district games. That's where your focus is. You use these out-of-district games, and obviously we're playing I don't know another team that's playing the strength of schedule that we're playing right now. And you take these games and you grow and you get better and you compete and you start winning these basketball games, and then it bled over into our district. The work and the commitment, the who we're playing against, and I feel like when we come back after Christmas, that's where that's the heart of it. We've got to go win our district outright. We've got to go win a district tournament, and that's the focus, because that's what we're playing all of this to play for the postseason.
Absolutely. And, you mentioned the Christmas tournaments. Obviously, you played in the Greenville tournament up there. It's a really good tournament, and you've coached in that tournament. Talk a little bit about your mentality kind of going into the break here. What's the practice schedule maybe going to look like, especially with the tournament games over Christmas?
You know, normally I would say, you know, we're only 6 or 7 deep right now, and so we need to save legs and we need to rest and that sort of thing. But that's not our mentality right now. We're going to work every day, and so you know, we're competing in practice. These girls are giving us, because we've got to compete in practice so we know how to compete in games. We've got to fight in practice so we know how to fight like we did tonight in games. And they bought into that. And so, I mean, we're going to go at things hard, you know, hard and smart, and we'll prepare for each opponent and get better.
Coach, your next game will be against
Oakland on Friday.
Woo.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to get a little bit of a distant game from there and get a little bit different competition that you would really only see in state tournaments.
Right. You know, and that's why you play it. It's a measuring stick, just like, you know, playing a team from, you know, playing Cleveland. You play Sevier County. You know, Sevier County could be a sectional game. Cleveland is playing. They could be a state tournament team. They're playing. You know, Bradley could be. You're measuring there. We're going to go play. They're coming here to play Oakland. That's a measuring stick to see where you're at and how you compare. We've always done that, and that way, when you get to that postseason, you know where you're standing.
Coach, it looks like you have a great game plan going forward, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We will send it back to David here as they are getting ready for the start of the boys game. We'll take about a 2-minute break and come back for the start of boys action. Wildcats lead 31-30. Welcome back to Wildcat Arena. James Branson joined by Josh Frazier as well as Ethan Eubanks doing our camera personnel tonight, and Ben Kintop. David Clary back at the studio working as director for us. We appreciate all of those people. You can listen to us on Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15, prepradio.com, or our YouTube channel where the live stream is. Hopefully you were able to see the first half where the Wildcats made a nice comeback, 31-30, and in that, they had a 16-3 run at one point to close out the half there. So sparked by numerous different players coming off the bench, but it will be Cleveland starting with the ball here. They work it into Leeper. Leeper has it for Cleveland. He tries to go toward the wing, toward their side, but backs it out to Salt. Salt works it around and back to Leeper. He gets it on the opposite wing. He drives into lane, shot no good. So the cold spell continues for Cleveland, but they fumble the rebound, and eventually Leeper comes up with it. Leeper at the top of the key, guarded by Grayson Strader. Strader follows him around, Cleveland really taking it slow as Leaper kind of ISOs there, takes his own shot just inside three-point line and hits it. 32-31, the lead for Cleveland. 7:20 left in the fourth quarter. Raekwon Watson has it for the Wildcats as they work it up the court there. Grayson Strader works off a pick and pop. Three-point ball by Grayson Strader. Good! Grayson Strader retakes the lead, 34-32. 7 minutes left in the third quarter here as a nice response. Once again, Grayson stepping out and making those threes. Such a big guy, you only expect him to play down low. But Cleveland nearly turns it over there with Brooks. Gets it back out to Thomas. His shot no good. Raekwon Watson on the rebound. Raekwon tries to drive into the lane, kicks it out to Bright Hart. Bright Hart, his three is no good. Lucas Hammonds fights for a rebound, and a jump ball is going to be called. Possession arrow stays with Oak Ridge. 34-32, 6:38 left in the third quarter.
So it looks like so far the second quarter is spilling over into the third quarter. Oak Ridge is hot. They're making things happen, and Cleveland is struggling to score a basket.
Lucas Hammonds doesn't convert on the field goal there as Salt comes back in the lane for Cleveland. His shot no good. Wildcats rebound. Raekwon Watson eventually ends up with it. And he dribbles around, tries to get into the lane. He does put a shot up off the glass. Good! Raekwon Watson extends the lead to 4. 36-32. 6:10 left in the third quarter here as Gabe Leaper for Cleveland works it in. He's guarded by Raekwon Watson. He tries to work off a screen, refuses the screen. A little skip pass across court there to Thomas, who hits a three. It will be 36-35 now. Well, they say it's a two-point shot, not a three. So it is 36-34, but a turnover here by Raekwon Watson and a walk by Thomas after the turnover. He came up with it, unable to get control, and it will stay Wildcat ball after the walk called on Thomas. 35-48 left in the third quarter.
And Oak Ridge has got to be a little bit leery here. They got to be careful and stop those turnovers early, because that happened to them in the first quarter, and they had to battle back just to tie the game.
Caden Bright-Harp there on a missed shot, tipped out by Lucas Hammonds, and Caden comes back up with it. My son Emmett correcting me, it is Bright-Hart, not Bright-Harp. Okay, and it ends up that Brennan Scott has it. He drives toward the baseline, shot no good. Rebound is gonna go to Cleveland as they say it was tipped out of bounds on Oak Ridge. 5:20 left in the third quarter, 36-34 the lead for the Wildcats. It will be Cleveland inbounding there as Gabe Leaper has it. He's guarded near midcourt by Raekwon Watson. They cross over midcourt. 5:08 left in the third quarter. And it will be Brooks there. Brooks, entry pass to Hayter. Hayter, nice cut into the lane, ties the game at 36. Just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter as Raekwon Watson looks for a response from the Wildcats. Raekwon drives in the lane toward the baseline. Shot off the glass, no good, but he earned himself a trip to the free throw line there. I believe the foul is going to be called on Leaper. It will be the first team foul on Cleveland. 36-36 the score as Raekwon heads to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's a good play. Drive down in the lane. If you don't have a shot, worst case scenario is happening right now. You're going to get some free throws and a chance at some easy points right there.
Raekwon did miss the first, but has a second with 4:50 left in the third quarter. He does make the second free throw to give the Wildcats a 1-point lead. 37-36 the score for the Wildcats with 4:45 left in the third quarter. Leaper has it, guarded by Raekwon Watson. It's going to be Salt setting up a screen as well as Hayter. They both work off that screen, and Leaper throws it away. It's going to be a turnover there for the Wildcats. A little double screen action as Salt peeled off toward the basket. Pass went out of bounds, and it's going to be Grayson Strader inbounding. He does to Raekwon Watson, immediately gets in the lane, backs it out to Strader. Strader takes a three-point shot right at the top of the key, no good. Going to be rebounded, though, by Caden Bright-Hart. Bright-Hart gets the ball back, wants to shoot, thinks about it, drives in the lane, up off the glass, good. Great move and ball control by Caden. It is a 39-36 lead with 4:10 left in the third quarter. back up the court quickly does Cleveland come as they get it over to Salt. He's guarded by Lucas Hammonds. And a skip pass over to, that will be Thomas. Three-point shot, no good. Raekwon Watson trying to rebound, and it's going to be out of bounds on Cleveland, as I believe Leaper stepped out as him and Raekwon were wrestling over the ball.
Yeah, so Oak Ridge is doing a real good job on the defensive side. They're getting the turnovers, but I think they need to tighten up a little bit on the man-to-man defense right there, because they have gotten some easy shots so far in the beginning of the second half.
Lucas Hammonds misses a three on that possession there for the Wildcats, and Cleveland comes back up the court with it. They have it with Salt. 3:34 left in the third quarter. 3-point lead, 39-36 for the Wildcats. Cleveland trying to get an open look. They do, but miss the three-point shot. Leaper should have gone over the back, but no call there. Ends up putting off the glass good. 39-38 the lead for the Wildcats with 3:15 left in the third quarter. Raekwon Watson trying to set up the offense there. He drives toward the baseline. Shot's going to be blocked off the backboard, but rebounded, tipped by Bright Harp over to Brennan Scott. Eventually, it was worked into Strader. Strader fakes. Shot off the glass. Good. Grayson Strader extends the lead to 3, 43-38. Steal on the inbound play by Bright Harp to Raekwon Watson. Shot no good. Rebound by Strader, no good. And it's going to be a foul, pushing foul there on, I believe, Cleveland. And that will give the Wildcats free throws with Grayson Strader at the line. 2:48 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, and what a possession that was. Once they got that turnover back, it just seemed like if a shot missed, another Oak Ridge Wildcat was coming in almost from outside of frame to get the rebound and take another shot.
Grayson Strader does miss the front end of his 2 points. Two free throw shots there as the Wildcats will sub. Raekwon Watson, Lucas Hammonds coming out, and Jaquez Thomas and Bryson Comer coming in. 41-38 the Wildcat lead. Grayson Strader at the line for his second free throw. It is up, and it is good. Off the back of the rim and rolls in. Wildcats now lead by 4, 42-38. 2:45 left in the third quarter. Wildcats able to claw back in and take the lead here. At one point, it was a 16-3 run as Leaper has it for Cleveland. Tries to work it inside to Salt. He does. It's going to be a charge foul on Salt. Bryson Comer sets up to draw the charge just in time, and it's going to be a turnover on Cleveland.
And you can see the disappointment when the ball went through, and then you get the charge foul, and it's basically all for naught. But Oak Ridge is coming back down, and let's see what they can do from here, see if they can extend this lead.
42-38 the lead for the Wildcats. 2:20 left in the third quarter. Grayson Strader has it, kicks it back out to Brennan Scott, thinks about shooting, but passes it off to Caden Brightheart. Caden drives into the lane, shot up, no good, trying to tip around the rebound, and comes out with it is Brooks for Cleveland. He comes up, guarded by Caden Brightheart there, gets it off to Salt in the corner, guarded by Strader, and he hits a 2-point shot. That cuts the lead 42-40 for the Wildcats as they have it now with 1:45 left in the third quarter. Grayson Strader has it, thinks about driving in the lane, thinks about a three-pointer, passes it over to Caden Brightheart on the wing. Caden tries to drive in the lane. He does. Up off the glass. Good! 44-40. 1:30 left in the third quarter as Caden really coming alive here in the third quarter, just as he did in the first quarter for the Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely. He's coming right back to life like he did in the first half. And I'd also like to give some attention to Strader as he's taken a lot of the weight of this team on in this third quarter to keep them up by 2 points now.
Grayson Strader trying to inbound, and nearly a 5-second call, and eventually it will be a 5-second call after the basket there by Cleveland's Salt. So the lead is now 44-42, 1:06 left in the third quarter as the Wildcats will sub. Raekwon Watson coming in, Jaquez Thomas coming out, and it will be Cleveland ball here on the inbound. They do inbound it to Thomas. Thomas gets it over to Leaper. Leaper trying to work it inside to Salt. Triple team there. It's going to be tipped away by Salt, and a turnover for the Wildcats.
All right, now it's time for Oak Ridge to take advantage of that turnover. Let's see if maybe they can hit a three, extend that lead to 5 points. Sorry, I'm not the best at math sometimes. It may take me a little bit, but Oak Ridge got the ball, passing around, getting a good shot. Almost hits the 3, just like I thought they might do.
Great ball movement there. Grayson Strader with the opportunity, but quickly does Cleveland come back up the court. Missed shot by Leaper. On the second chance, though, is Thomas for Cleveland. They make the 2-point shot. 44, 25 seconds left in the third quarter, and Caden Brightheart takes his team on his shoulders again, hits the layup, and goes back to the line for some more free throws and a 3-point potentially play here with 24 seconds left in the third quarter.
Absolutely. That was a beautiful play right there. He got the and one. Now let's see if he can actually convert on that third shot. And he does, bringing the score to 47-44. Oak Ridge over Cleveland right now.
20 seconds left in the third quarter there as Cleveland has it with Leaper, guarded by Raekwon Watson, probably playing for the last shot here with 12 seconds left. They work it in, try to pass it back out. That's going to be Thomas for 3. Shot no good. Rebound comes out to Brooks. Shot no good. Tip by Salt, no good. Back up with, I believe that's Brooks, no good. And it's going to be the end of the quarter there as the defense holds on for the Wildcats. 47-44. Wildcats now lead by 3 headed to the fourth. Great comeback, great defense, and the Wildcats are going to take it to the fourth quarter, as will we. We will be back after this 1-minute timeout. Welcome back to Wildcat Arena. James Branson joined by Josh Frazier as well as Ethan Eubanks working our camera tonight, as well as Gavin Kintop. And we appreciate Ben George helping out with the stream and making all of us look a lot better with what he was able to fix here. Cleveland has the ball to start the fourth quarter. They get a nice shot here with Hayter. Hayter misses a wide open 3-pointer, just as Josh and I were talking, that Cleveland has missed wide open shots as they nearly give Brennan Scott an opportunity here, but it's going to be a pass to Comer, worked back out to Raekwon Watson. 47-44, the Wildcat lead just started here in the fourth quarter. Raekwon decides to take a 3-point shot. Rebound is tipped around for a while. It's going to be taken away by Caden Brightheart. His shot's up and good. Caden Brightheart with adding to his point total here, 49-44. 7:15 left in the fourth quarter here as the Wildcats are able to get extra chance opportunities. And yet another charge foul called on Salt by Bryson Comer, stepping in his way and getting set. It will be Wildcat ball, 49-44. Great job there by Bryson Comer.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I think number 5 there, he had the last charge on a shot that he made all for naught as well.
Raekwon Watson works back up to Caden Brightheart quickly. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter here. 49-44 the lead. Grayson Strider has it, drives into the lane, backs it out to Caden Brightheart. Around the horn he goes, Caden directing traffic. Raekwon Watson gets the ball on the handoff here. Key point of note as I look at the scoreboard here is the Wildcats have no fouls. Cleveland has been called for 5, so something to keep in mind as Raekwon Watson turns the corner, off the glass, no good. Rebound going to be by Salt there, nearly taken away by Bryson Comer, but worked up to Leaper for Cleveland. He tries to get into the lane, worked over to Hayter in the end, but he drives into the lane, shot up and good, cuts the lead to 3 there, 49-46 for the Wildcats. Brennan Scott quickly back up the court trying to dish it off. unable to with 6:15 left on the clock. Cleveland has it. Salt comes back into the lane. Leaper, got to slow that guy down as he misses the shot, and Grayson Strader comes up with the rebound. Caden Brightheart, long pass to Bryson Comer. Works it back quickly to Raekwon Watson. Out to Brennan Scott, wide open three, no good. Rebound by Grayson Strader. Shot there by Raekwon Watson in the corner three, no good. Tipped out, and I believe it is going to be an over-the-back call on Caden as he was just trying to make an effort play and knock it out of bounds. He will take the foul, and that will be the first team foul on the Wildcats.
So I just want to say that was some amazing ball movement by Oak Ridge right there. Each person giving it up for the possibly better shot and higher percentage shot right there.
It's going to be Gabe Leaper that has the ball for Cleveland. 5:40 left in the fourth quarter, 49-46, the Wildcat lead here. It's going to be, I believe, Hayter with the ball. He drives into the lane, guarded by Raekwon Watson. Tough shot, good. And it is going to be a 1-point lead on a very tough shot, 49-48 by Hayter. And a timeout will be called there by Cleveland, and with 5:29 left in the fourth quarter. We briefly mentioned the girls tournament that is going to be taking place up in Cleveland over Christmas break, which is soon to start here for the Wildcats on Friday. The Wildcats will also be playing in a tournament here locally, so a great opportunity to see both your Lady Wildcats and Wildcats, as the Wildcats will be playing in the Maryville Renaissance Bank Christmas tournament. This tournament includes Farragut, Sevier County, Stone Memorial, Sequoia, Maryville High School, obviously, and Lenore City. Oak Ridge will play their first game December 27th at 1:30 against Hampton. And that will be the start of their Christmas tournament right there shortly after Christmas holiday. So if you're in town, I would encourage you to go see either one of these great teams and support the Wildcats. The Wildcats do have the ball here after the made shot moments ago. 49-48 the lead for the Wildcats. Caden Brightheart had the pass tipped out of bounds, and so it will stay Wildcat ball with 5:29 left in the fourth quarter. Marcus Peters gets it. He is now in the game as Bryson Comer has left. Peters works it over to Caden in the corner near the student section. Peters gets it back over to Raekwon Watson. Raekwon defended there, trying to drive into the lane. He does throw it up off the glass, no good. Lucas Hammond tried to tip it away but couldn't, and it's going to be Brooks that comes down with it for Cleveland. Brooks guarded by Brightheart. Brightheart is good defense. Eventually going to be a missed shot there. Coming away with it will be Raekwon Watson. Brightheart gets it back from Raekwon, tipped out of bounds by Cleveland. I think Coach Green wanted a foul there instead of a tip pass, Oak Ridge ball, but it will stay Oak Ridge ball underneath the basket. 4:57 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it looks like so far it's going to be a fast-paced end of this game. Both teams trying to go up and down the court and push the pace.
Raekwon Watson got it on the inbound there, and the foul was going to be called in the act of shooting, so Raekwon will head to the line. That will be the 16th foul. Oh, I'm sorry, they did not call it in the act of shooting. They called it on the ground. They called a blocking foul. So 16 foul either way. Next one will be 1-1 for the Wildcats. And Raekwon enters it to Caden Brightheart. Nice pass off the glass. Good. Caden Brightheart comes up with a steal on the inbound. Tries to call a timeout and gets it over to Raekwon, but Coach Green alertly called a timeout. That is the second time Caden Brightheart has snuck behind the inbound pass after Raekwon made that layup. Once again, Caden snuck behind it, fought for the ball, dove on the ground, tried to get a timeout or tried to pass it, and Coach Green called the timeout. Either way, the Wildcats have a 3-point lead, 51-48, and with 4:46 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's a great hustle play, and Caden Brightheart has just absolutely come to play, especially in the second half, basically taking the team on his shoulders and keeping this lead at 3 points for Oak Ridge over Cleveland. It's just been amazing.
You know, what's been nice about this Oak Ridge team is, I think I was talking to somebody, and there may not be a star on the team, but they play well together. You've seen Brennan Scott hit some key shots. Raekwon Watson has hit some key shots driving into the lane. Caden Brightheart has really done well all night long. It's been a team effort. Grayson Strider stepping out and hitting a three. They play so hard together that's what makes them tough to defeat, and that's why they're undefeated currently. Brennan Scott right there tries to take an elbow free or jumper. He does, misses. Eventually gets the ball back, and it's going to be a foul on the ground or on the court called on, I believe, Cleveland. And as we said before, that will be the 7th team foul on Cleveland, so the Wildcats should be shooting 1-1, and they are. And one of the best free throw shooting Wildcats will head to the line. That is Brennan Scott.
Yeah, you mentioned how well this team plays together. You know, coming from San Antonio, I grew up with the San Antonio Spurs, and they are absolutely the epitome of a team that plays well together. There's not a single all-star or player that wants to run the entire show, and Oak Ridge is doing just that. And they've got a lead over Cleveland right now because of it.
Brennan did miss his free throw, and Cleveland got the possession back, but have really passed it around here for the most part of the last 30 seconds. 4:07 left in the fourth quarter here. They eventually do work a three-point shot to Salt. His shot was no good. Rebound was taken by Leaper, but stripped out by Raekwon Watson. It was stripped out and did go out of bounds with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter here as the Wildcats hold on to a 51-48 lead. Wildcats sub Marcus Peters comes out. I believe that is Lucas Hammonds maybe coming back in for the Wildcats. Wildcats trying to get their defense set. Cade Brightheart tips the pass, and it's going to be wrestled over, taken away by Cleveland, and it's going to be Brooks that misses a shot, wide open again, and he eventually gets it off to Salt. A little bit of confusion here. I believe they're saying the Brooks was complaining that the ball was too wet. Kind of hard to handle. The officials had to call timeout.
I mean,
It's ball.
You're a basketball player. It's gonna get sweaty from time to time. You got to be able to handle it and take the ball as it comes.
3:48 left in the fourth quarter here. Wildcats have a 3-point lead, 51-48. It is going to be Hayter to inbound. He will do that on the sideline opposite of us. He's guarded by Caden Brightheart. They inbound it in the backcourt there to Leaper. Leaper has it guarded by Raekwon Watson. It is going to be Thomas. Thomas tries to dribble it around the three-point line. Turnover there. Caden Brightheart takes it away. He races into the lane, gives it over to Bryson Comer. Nice pass. Shot no good. Wanted a foul call, but doesn't come. And it's going to be Cleveland ball. Cleveland works it back up to Salt there with 3:27 left on the clock. 3-point lead, 51-48. Wildcats commit a foul there between Grayson Strader and Brennan Scott. To me, it just looked like Hayter tripped, but the officials gave him a foul anyway, and it will be the second team foul on Oak Ridge.
Well, and luckily they've stayed out of foul trouble really pretty much this entire game, so not going to hurt them too bad. We've got 3 minutes and 21 seconds, so it's not like they can't recover from it.
Cleveland inbounds, and Salt takes it over Raekwon Watson with 3:15 left in the game here. Working around the key as a three-point shot is no good. Ball gets stuck in the rim there between the rim and the backboard by Hayter's shot on a three-point shot. I don't know if that's impressive or, slightly embarrassing, but either way, it's going to be the Wildcats ball. Grayson Strader to inbound with 3:12 left in the game. 3-point lead, 51-48 is our score. Strader has it, works it across midcourt. Raekwon Watson now has it guarded there by Brooks. I would argue that Oak Ridge has a lot more depth and maybe fresher legs here for the game, as Cleveland has rarely subbed. As Raekwon Watson drives in the lane, shot no good. Caden Brightheart, shot no good. Tipped around, it's going to be controlled by Leaper of Cleveland. He's going to be guarded by Raekwon Watson. Behind the back dribble, nearly loses it, but gains it back with 2:38 left in the fourth quarter. 51-48, still our score. Not much movement on the scoreboard wise, but great defense on both sides of the ball. 2:30 left. Leaper tries to drive into the lane. It's going to be Brooks. Brooks passes over to Salt. Salt nearly fouled, and a foul is going to be called eventually on Bryson Comer, and he has earned, that will be, Salt has earned himself a trip to the free throw line.
Well, I'm just looking for somebody to make a bucket here at this point. It's been quite a few minutes since.
For the Wildcats.
Yes, preferably for the Wildcats, but it seems nobody can hit a basket tonight in the last couple of minutes. So
That is the first points there, as David Clary lets us know that that is a 3.3-minute drought by both teams, score-wise, as right before Salt hit his first free throw to bring the lead to 2 for the Wildcats, 51-49 over Cleveland. 2:21 left on the clock. Salt's second free throw is good. Now a 1-point lead for the Wildcats. A full timeout called for Cleveland with 2:20 left. We will take that quick timeout with them. We will be back in 45 seconds. Like that? Your basketball player. James Branson back here with Josh Frazier, as well as Ethan Eubanks and Gavin Kintop doing our camera tonight. David Clary helping us out back at the station as director. Ben George helping get our stream set up there, as the Wildcats will have it here. 51-50 the lead. 2:21 left in the game. Wildcats really needing a little scoring spurt here as Cleveland tries to trap. And they say that Brennan Scott stepped out of bounds. He was bumped, I believe, there by Brooks. And Brooks kind of forced a turnover and Brennan to step out of bounds. It will be Cleveland ball. Lambert wants to inbound, but a timeout is again called by Cleveland with 2:19 on the clock. It is a 30-second timeout, so we will hold it here really quick. The Wildcats are once again doing their children's shopping holiday for the local area teams. So we would like your support with the Oak Ridge High School boys and girls basketball teams. We will take children that have been selected by District Family Resource Center on a special Christmas shopping trip. The goal is to spend about $100 on each child, or as many children as possible, and that shopping will be done December 18th, as the boys and girls basketball players will go around and help the children shop. It's a really cool thing that we have going on in our community.
yeah, absolutely. I did just heard about that not too long ago, and I absolutely love the program. I think it's great for the kids. It's just great in general. So hopefully we can get a ton of kids and get them their Christmas shopping. Sure.
If you would like to donate, you can drop donations off at the high school, or you can make checks payable to Oak Ridge Boosters or mail them to P.O. Box 5834, or you can contact the Oak Ridge Wildcats head coach, Aaron Green. We will run those down here momentarily, but more importantly, Cleveland has the ball here on the inbounds with 2:10 left in the game. They look to have a little bit more of energy now, as they are moving a little bit quicker, but the Wildcat defense is really stepping up on all of these passes. Raekwon Watson closes out there on the three-point shot that is missed. Brooks is going to get an extra shot opportunity. He misses both, and it's going to be Caden Brightheart coming away with the rebound there with 1:50 left on the clock and a 1-point lead. 51-50 is our score. Wildcats lead with 1:40 left on the clock. Caden tries to drive in the lane. They give it to him. Shot is good on the layup. Caden staying hot for the Wildcats as he now scores again, 53-50, as the Wildcats lead with 1:28 left on the clock. Grayson Strader and Bryson Comer playing great defense. Bryson picks off the pass, gets it over to Grayson, and the Wildcats want to calm it down a little bit, but work it across half court. They do to Brennan Scott. Brennan has it, backs up toward midcourt with 1:12 left on the clock, a 3-point lead. Brennan shakes and baits, drives into the lane, throws up a shot, was in the act of shooting, they will say, and the foul was a pushing foul on number 22, Alex Hayter for Cleveland. That will be the 8th team foul and at least a 1-and-1 opportunity if they called it on the floor. If they did not, it will be 2 shots.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the clutch factor, but I think Brightheart definitely has that. He's absolutely killing it tonight, points-wise, hustle play-wise. And let's see if that plays a role in this close game as we get into the last minute of it.
Brennan Scott able to make the first of 2 free throws, 54-50, now the lead with 1:07 left on the clock. Brennan at the line for his second free throw. It's also good, 55-50, 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Key there is it's 2 possessions as we are about to move under 1 minute left. It will be Leaper for Cleveland who tries to work it across half court. He does, tries to drive into the lane, kicks it out for a 3-point shot by Thomas. Shot no good, rebounded by Bryson Comer. Gets it over to Raekwon Watson. Raekwon tries to dribble behind his back, needs some help, but a timeout is called very wisely by Coach Green, almost as if he's seen a scenario like that before. The Wildcats have it, 47 seconds left on the clock and a 30-second timeout with a 5-point lead. We'll take this short timeout and bring it back here in 30 seconds. James Branson as well as Josh Frazier back here at Wildcat Arena at Jill Pruden Court, joined by Ethan Eubanks as well as Gavin Kintop. We appreciate you tuning in to us on Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15, prepradio.com, or even our YouTube channel where we were finally able to get the stream working. Thanks no part into me, but very much so into Ben George and all the work that he did. And will be the Wildcats inbounding with 47 seconds left in the 4th quarter, and a foul will be taken there by Raekwon Watson. That foul will be on Jason Brooks of Cleveland. So the Cleveland Raiders have to be probably getting very picky with who their fouls are going to be on or who takes the foul here because they have 9 team fouls, and I believe they also had 8 or 9 in the first half. Either way, Raekwon Watson heads to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, it's all about not giving Oak Ridge free points while getting the most amount of possessions before the end of the game.
You don't want to foul Jason Brooks on a 3-point shot, even though it was a contested 3, and he does hit it to bring the lead to 2. 55-53 with 37 seconds left there. So a big point on that possession was Raekwon has the 1-and-1 and missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Cleveland rebounded, got a long pass, and that was almost like Jason Brooks in the first quarter when he couldn't miss regardless of what the shot was.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing how quickly that can change because earlier they weren't being contested and they were missing, but here now it's contested and he's hitting threes like he never missed a beat.
It will be Oak Ridge's ball coming out of the timeout break here. They will have 37 seconds left. A key point here, the Wildcats only have 3 fouls in the second half. The Raiders, the Blue Raiders, have 9 team fouls, which means that they will be shooting if they choose to foul, the Wildcats will be shooting 2 points or 2 free throws on every attempt from here on out. And that is key to know because of who you want to send to the line for the Wildcats or who Cleveland chooses to foul if you're Cleveland. 55-53, the score here as the Wildcats lead by 2. Marcus Peters inbounds. He does to Raekwon Watson, and it seems as a foul was called, even though the Cleveland coach did not seem that he was trying to foul. It really honestly looked like they were setting up to trap, and the foul is going to be on Thomas, and that will be the 10th foul, and the Wildcats should be shooting 1 in the bonus or 2 shots, and they are in fact. 36 seconds left in the game here. Raekwon Watson back to the line, hits the front end of that. Marcus Peters comes to congratulate him. Looks like the Wildcats are subbing offense for defense here, or I'm sorry, defense for offense, as Bryson Comer comes into the game for Marcus Peters. Raekwon Watson's second shot up and good. 57-53. 4-point game, 2-possession game as the Wildcats now lead by 4. Cleveland brings the ball up court, but Oak Ridge fouls. Grayson Strader fouls with 28 seconds left. It will send Thomas to the line for them with a 4-point deficit, 57-53.
Yeah, and this is where these free throws are absolutely crucial for Oak Ridge because if they miss 1 or 2, then Cleveland is still in this game. If they continue to hit all their free throws from here on out, it won't matter what Cleveland does. Oak Ridge will come out with the victory.
Thomas does make the front end of that there, and he has a second shot. Second shot is good. It is now a 2-point game, 1-possession game, as Oak Ridge again chooses to sub. Now this time, offense for defense. Marcus Peters comes in for Bryson Comer. 28 seconds, 57-55, our score. Wildcats lead. Inbound goes to Raekwon Watson. Raekwon tries to get it over to Marcus Peters, but it's a turnover to Cleveland. Lambert scores on that turnover and takeaway. 57-57. Grayson Strader calls a timeout, couldn't get anybody set. 17 seconds left on the clock. Huge turnover there for the Wildcats that just gave the ball to Cleveland, and really uncharacteristic for the Wildcats so far tonight.
Yeah, Oak Ridge has been pretty good on the turnover side of the game. They've been pretty clean throughout. Same with the fouls. They've been very clean with fouling, but, the turnovers can pop their ugly heads out at the worst times, and that's typically what they tend to do. So now we'll see what Oak Ridge does in the face of adversity. Can they keep Cleveland from coming back in the last 17 seconds of this game?
The inbounds will be for the Wildcats, and the Wildcats will inbound again. Marcus Peters did so the last time, and Raekwon Watson had it and had a turnover there. 57-57 is our score. So positives here, 17 seconds left. You can bet that Cleveland's going to try to full court press because they have the last 2 times. If the Oak Ridge Wildcats are able to break that, I would assume that they would play for the last shot here and try to maybe run a play with about 8 to 6 seconds left. If I'm going for the Wildcats, I'm going to Caden Brightheart trying to get in the lane. He's brought you this far. He's put you on his back. It will be Marcus Peters to inbound. He does try to inbound and does so to Caden Brightheart. Caden has it with 15 seconds, and the press backs off. Caden crosses the midcourt stripe with 10 seconds left. 8 seconds. Caden has it. He's going to drive into the lane. Tries to back it out. 4 seconds. Got to get a shot. Brendan Scott drives baseline. Little floater, no good. Caden gets a rebound, but it is going to be at the end of the buzzer that his shot goes up. So we have played 32 minutes here at Oak Ridge Wildcat Arena, and if you're a fan of the game, congratulations to you. You get a little extra free basketball. 57-57 at the end of 4 quarters here.
Exactly. So that turnover proved to be very costly. Now we're in overtime instead of the game being over with Oak Ridge as the victors. And you say we get extra basketball. I'm going to add you get extra basketball, and your chair's about to flip over you because you're on the edge of your seat right now.
This is great basketball. Both teams have been down. Wildcats at one point, I believe, were down about 12 to 15 points, fought their way back in the second quarter, took the lead to halftime, and were able to get the lead for the most of the fourth quarter. And it's really been within the last 30 seconds of game time that the game has been tied. We will have 4 minutes left or on the clock for overtime. Oak Ridge's last overtime came in 2016 against Davy Crockett. So most of these guys have not seen varsity action in overtime, but I would argue with Cleveland's bench and how few players they have used, Oak Ridge might be the fresher team here because of how many people they've been rotating in. We will also get a jump ball here to start at the overtime here. Will be Bryson Comer to jump and salt for Cleveland. It is eventually controlled by Raekwon Watson of the Wildcats. Raekwon comes away with it and sets up the offense. Coach Green trying to call out what he wants as Raekwon sets it up. It's going to be a tip pass. Raekwon has turned it over, but then he steals it right back. Raekwon races up the court, goes into the lane, gives it off to Bryson Comer, off the glass, good! Bryson Comer, 59-57 with 3:35 left in overtime here. Gabe Leeper has it, guarded by Raekwon Watson. Huge basket by Bryson Comer, who has come in off the bench. Cleveland has it there with Hayter. Hayter will give it over to Brooks. Brooks, who has been hit or miss with his threes so far in the game, guarded by Caden Brighthart. Great defense there. And it's going to be a 5-second call by Caden Brighthart. The pressure by Caden to put on Brooks caused another turnover for the Wildcats.
Right, and these turnovers in overtime, they were crucial enough in the fourth quarter, let alone in overtime.
As it will be, Grayson Strader was unable to work it in, and we get a 5-second call down on Cleveland's baseline. So the ball goes right back over to Cleveland with 3:09 left on the clock. 59-57, the lead for the Wildcats as Coach Green is trying to call something, and the official comes to check for him and tries to calm Coach Green down while Cleveland makes subs. That will be Thomas coming in for Lambert for Cleveland. Leeper to inbound, guarded by Bryson Comer. Bryson tries to tip it, but the inbound goes to Hayter. Playing off the iron, no good. Grayson Strader comes up with the rebound. Raekwon Watson trying to settle it down before he crosses half court. Nearly carries, but doesn't. Drives into the lane. Little runner, no good. Rebounded by Cleveland. Thought about a Hail Mary pass there, but doesn't. Backs it down. 59-57, the lead for the Wildcats. Bryson Comer down low, has to commit a foul. Got up in the air on Thomas and committed the foul with 2:46 left on the clock.
What an amazing minute and 15 seconds this has already been. The back and forth between teams, the turnovers, everything is crucial at this point. And it's 10 times more crucial than it was even in the fourth quarter.
That'll be Thomas making the first of his 2 free throws. The Wildcat lead now 59-58 as Jaquez Thomas comes and subs in for Raekwon Watson, who has had a pretty good game as the point guard so far tonight. Thomas makes the second one and ties the game here. Ball gets worked into Jaquez Thomas by Strader. Back to Strader. He gets it across the half-court circle. Tries to drive into the lane and hands it off to Caden Brighthart with 2:35 left in overtime here. Caden back to Strader. Nearly has it taken away, but ends up driving toward the baseline. Shot up, no good. He's going to be fouled there by Salt, I believe. And that still is going to be double bonus, for the Wildcats, because that should be the 11th foul, I believe, on the 11th team foul for Cleveland. So Strader to the line in a tie game, 59 all, 2:27 left on the clock. Grayson's first shot is up, no good.
Yeah, and that's vital right now. A miss there, that could seal the fate by the end of this overtime period. So hopefully he can pull the second one off, and they'll take the lead at 60-59.
As you said, he does 60-59 as Grayson makes that free throw. 2:25 left in overtime here. 1 point lead for the Wildcats as Gabe Leeper works it across midcourt for the Blue Raiders. Over to Salt. Salt over to Brooks. Brooks skip pass back to Leeper. Leeper trying to work into the lane. He does. Gets it out to Thomas around the three-point line, and they're trying to move the ball around the three-point line. Leeper running all over the place, and a foul is going to be called on, I believe, Jaquez Thomas as Jason Brooks was driving toward the lane. That will be the 6th team foul on the Wildcats. So not yet in the 1-and-1 are Cleveland, but on the next foul they will be. 60-59, the lead for the Wildcats. 2:02 left in overtime here. Cleveland works it into Leeper on a very athletic catch there. Leeper trying to drive toward the lane, spins around, gives it up. Right between the wickets goes the ball of Thomas, and it's going to be a turnover. Wildcats get it on the inbound. This is where the Wildcats have struggled a little bit. 2 5-second calls and a turnover. They do work it into Brightheart. Brightheart right up the sideline there, goes into the lane. Good! And his layup gives the Wildcats a 62-59 lead with 1:42 left in overtime here. Caden Brightheart, Mr. Do-It-All, offense and defense for the Wildcats.
It almost looks like he's a one-man band out there. I know the rest of the team is also playing well, but he has clearly been the star of the show tonight.
Bryson Comer comes up with the steal as Jaquez Thomas tips it over to him, and Bryson's shot ends up going out of bounds. Jaquez, I believe, was standing out of bounds, just caught it unintentionally. It will be Cleveland ball with 1:20 left on the clock. 62-59, the Wildcat lead by 3. Leeper tries to drive into the lane, pushes off a little bit, hits a jumper for 2. 62-61. Wildcats now lead by 1 with 1:05 left in the game. Caden Brightheart right back down in the lane. Good! Caden Brightheart having himself a night, thinking about getting another steal. 64-61 the lead, 55 seconds left. Wildcats need to clamp down on the defense, especially on Leeper. Leeper trying to get the play call, trying to work the offense, defended by Jaquez Thomas. Nearly tied up, nearly walks. Ball's tipped around, taken away by Brooks. 40 seconds left on the clock in overtime. 3-point lead, 64-60. Brooks works around the screen. Long three, no good. Rebound to Leeper. Leeper back out to Brooks. He tries to put up another three, guarded by Brightheart, but no! A foul called on a three-point shot by Caden Brightheart. That was just great defense. There's no need to call a foul there. You know they were probably going to. But to me, that was just great defense with 28 seconds left. That'll send Brooks to the line for 3 shots.
Absolutely. Great defense. Let him play. 28 seconds left. Let him play. Let's see what happens here.
Brooks does make the first of his 3 shots. If it were to come down to it, Oak Ridge is now in the 1-and-1. They have 17 fouls. Brooks misses. Brooks misses his second shot. So Cleveland cannot tie the game. It is 64-62, 28 seconds left. Brooks' last free throw. Good. 1-point lead for the Wildcats as they will make subs once again. Offense for defense. 64-63, 28 seconds. Marcus Peters will be inbounding. Got to hope that the Wildcats have a play drawn up here. It is going to go to Caden Brightheart on the inbound. Wise call there by Marcus Peters and Coach Green as Caden shakes and bakes, able to make a man miss. 21 seconds. And it looks like the Wildcats could eventually just run out the clock if they wanted to. And Cleveland seemed content to let him do it, but a foul is going to be called. It will be double bonus here. So Caden Brightheart, the guy you want at the line in this game, will be there with 18 seconds left.
Yeah, absolutely. The clutch factor that I brought up earlier. Brightheart has it. Let's see if he can activate that clutch factor here on these free throws and probably seal this game away for Oak Ridge.
Caden's first free throw, nothing but net. 35, 30. Woo! I'm getting too excited here. 65-63, 18 seconds left in the game. Caden has his second free throw. Also, nothing but net. 3-point lead. 66-63. Wildcats lead. 15 seconds. Leaper has it. Do they want to call a timeout? Do they want to set up the defense or offense? It's going to be a steal by Caden Brightheart. He's going to seal the deal on a basket. Layup good. 5-point lead. 68-63. Wildcats win on as time runs out. Caden Brightheart, what a game. From beginning to end, Caden had the first 4 points. Caden has the last 4 points. He got the 2 free throws. He got the steal, sealed the deal with the layup. What a night for that young man.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stat sheet right now, and there's just all kinds of I haven't even counted them. There's just so many tallies for points scored, but ultimately it comes down to his new nickname, for me anyway, Mr. Clutch, coming through when it mattered, getting the turnovers, getting the points, keeping Oak Ridge in this game, and floating just above Cleveland on that scoreboard. So what an amazing night, what an amazing player, and I think his new nickname for me anyway is Mr. Clutch here.
I can't disagree with you there, Josh, because what a game for that young man. What a team game to be down 12, 15, 14. It doesn't matter at this point in the first quarter to fight your way back in the second quarter, to extend the lead, to have to fend off Cleveland there, and then in overtime, your defense plays lockdown. The only real points that they got were on free throws. And what just an overall game, not just for Caden, but for the whole team.
Absolutely. Well, and then you had Brooks coming back in the fourth quarter and in overtime to keep Cleveland in this game. And he was doing absolutely everything he possibly could to keep this game within reach. And, you know, it came down to vital free throws, turnovers, and then that's really what set Brightheart up to seal it away for Oak Ridge in this victory.
As we said, what a shocking game from start to finish. The Wildcats will, as Coach Taylor mentioned, the Lady Wildcats are going to take on Oakland from Murfreesboro. A little bit of a unique trip as they will be coming here to Wildcat Arena on Friday. So big matchup there. Big for the Wildcats, as the head coach of Oakland is Coach Dyron Birdwell. Coach Birdwell was one of Coach Green's assistants a couple years ago. He went on to go to Siegel, took Siegel to the state tournament, and then, you know, he is now at Murfreesboro, Oakland, and it'll be an interesting matchup here as the Wildcats will get to a few of the Wildcats may get to see a former coach. I know Coach Ted Mitchell, assistant coach, played when Coach Birdwell was here. So nice little homecoming we'll get to see with Coach Birdwell coming back on Friday.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just a quick little fun fact, if you will, Oakland's also fresh off their football state title, and they're looking to be at full strength when they go into that game. So
Wildcats do remain undefeated. They move to 8-0, 2-0 in the district. And, you know, just a great start overall for the Wildcats. And what else can you say but just what a team effort. What a great team win. And you can really tell how tight, very similar to the Lady Wildcats, how tight this team specifically is. It may not be Caden Brightheart every night. It may be somebody else. But when you have a team like that, it's hard to defend everybody all the time.
absolutely, when you have to focus on everybody on the court and not just one player. Obviously tonight, Caden Brightheart was a shining star among other stars that were out there, but when you have to defend everybody and focus on everybody and everybody is a weapon, it makes it extremely hard to defend that and to come out with a victory, because ultimately, no matter what, a team that plays well together and is close together on and off the court, they're always going to be hard to beat.
We will take a quick break and send it back to David Clary here as we wait for Coach Green to obviously finish talking to his team, and, you know, a very exciting win here for the Wildcats. So we will be back after this 4-minute timeout. James Branson as well as Josh Frazier back here at Wildcat Arena in Jill Pruden Court. I do see Coach Green making his way out of the locker room and up toward our booth. I'm sure, you know, this isn't anything like walking up the steps at Blankenship, but coming up here for an interview after a game, I'm sure isn't the a task you necessarily look forward to. But I would definitely not look forward to coming up to the booth after a game at Blankenship for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely much different with us going down to the field at Blankenship, but at least he's going to be coming up here after a win, a big time win against a good team in Cleveland, and being a win in overtime. The morale for this team and these players has just got to be skyrocketing right now. Huge win. I can only imagine what the adrenaline is like for these kids right now, and even for the coach. You know, you see him down earlier on the court, so invested in the team and the game, so much that he even got a technical earlier. So I can just imagine his blood is pumping and he's ready to celebrate.
I was about to say the same thing. A game that saw a little bit of everything. You had a game that was player technical, a coach's technical, a 15-point lead, and then a roaring comeback, a halftime lead by the team that was down, overtime. I mean, the guy that scored the first 4 points also scored the last 4 points. I mean, it's things you can't make up, really, and really just a great all-around performance here. After the initial quarter by the Wildcats, who dug themselves out of the hole, which was a really, really great job by them. But, you know, we talked about the Lady Wildcats game. The Lady Wildcats, although they didn't come away with a victory, came away with what I believe Coach Taylor said that she had something she could build on. She liked the fight that she saw. You know, they didn't start off the best as well, but Zayana Stewart coming in the game, getting some points for them, really allowed them to kind of spark and get those turnovers that they really feast off of. And again, you know, you didn't come up with the win, but it had a shot at the end there, albeit, you know, not necessarily the best shot, a longer three-point shot, but still a shot to win it. And I think some things that she was happy enough with she could take away to build upon. You're never happy with losing, but things that you can build upon to go forward. And then, you know, the boys JV game. Boys JV was also a back-and-forth game, and they ended up coming away with the victory 64 to 58. As Officer Swaggart here is making sure to direct everybody out, and Coach Green got stopped and is talking to a reporter currently, so we'll have to wait for him. But
well, and that's what you're looking for in a game, in your team, whether it's in a win or whether it's in a loss. You want something to build off of because no game's going to be perfect. This one we had, like you said, James, a little bit of everything. And I'll tell you what, it's been a very exciting first 2 games of my career calling, and there is some stuff to build on, but ultimately no game is perfect. There's always something to build on in a win, in a loss, and the fact that coach is excited about having stuff to build on. Neither one of these teams gave up when it got tough. When it got tough, they just played harder. They put their foot in the ground, and then they took off. And they got back in the game, and the Lady Wildcats game was a close one. Didn't come out with the victory, but stuff to build on, and it was a good game. And obviously, you guys know the boys team came out with the victory, and they still have stuff to build on. They have a lot to build on, some really good positives. So ultimately, that's all you can ask for out of a game, whether it's a win or a loss, is something to get better at.
absolutely, as Coach Green is joining us here in the booth now, as Coach, I don't know what your blood pressure currently is, but I mean, we were just talking, what a game. You start with a deficit, you come roaring back, we got a player technical, a coach technical, you had overtime. I mean, what didn't we have in this game?
Man, what a game. I mean, everybody got their money's worth. The girls' game was exciting. But, man, we tried everywhere in the world to give it away. For sure. I mean, start with the positive. I thought our kids, really responded after a bad start. And we didn't have a very good practice yesterday. Walkthrough was just okay, and I thought that carried over to the start of the game. Didn't really pay attention to the scouting report. Didn't execute. Got down. What was it, 15-2, I believe.
Yep.
So that's not good. And we don't look at it like they were making shots. We knew, based on scout, we knew 11 could do that, and we didn't guard him the right way. So we've got to get that corrected. You got to be ready to play when it's tipped up. You got to prepare the right way, and then. But our kids battled. They were field goalless in the second quarter. They just had free throws.
16-0 run at one point before they hit the 3 point
and again,
or 3 free throws.
Our kids responded, and actually that's good. That's good for us. We hadn't been in a ton of those games. This really, other than Sevier County, we had Sevier County and Alcoa. But those situations you're going to have those in postseason. You need to have your team in those situations. We've got to take care of now. Back to some negative. We got to take care of the ball. Just some really. I don't know, just dumbfounding turnovers, I guess the word I'm looking for. We had a layup down here we missed. Probably could have sealed it, but kids battle, made plays. We're going to make mistakes. We got an inexperienced team. We lost top 6 from last year. I'm still trying to figure out my guys. Who can I in the game? Who do we need in there? Ball handling, stuff like that. So we're still learning ourselves. So, but I'm proud of our kids. How about Caden Brightheart, man?
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, he had 28. 28 points is one thing, but he did a great job on 11 on Brooks. And he didn't get off to the greatest start, but we held him to 5 points after that. He started the game with 17,
wow.
And then he ended up with 22. Actually, the only field goal he had after the first quarter was that 3 he made late. That's the only field goal he had. So. Just as impressive as Caden's 28 was his defense.
Well, and as you said, Caden got the first 4 points of the game, but ended up getting the last 4 with a free throw and then a steal. He had 3 steals on inbounds alone. There were big turnovers for you guys. And what an effort play by him. But you really see how well your team is really coming together and gelling together. It's not just Caden. One night it might be Caden. One night it might be Raekwon. One night it might be Brennan. Who knows who it could be? And that's probably what makes you really dangerous.
It does. And we've got, we had a couple guys that didn't play well tonight. That's part of it. But again, like you said, we've got that's the first time late in the game that we've had to make a decision. Okay, who we're going to go to with the ball here, trying to get a win with a tie game. And we went to Caden, obviously, because he'd played so well, run a clear out isolation. They did a very good job of keeping a guy there. He couldn't get a look and had to kind of back it back out. And right there, when in regulation, when it ended, Brennan got a decent look. We found a way to get a decent look out of it. But that's the first time we've been in that situation. Me as a coach, our coaching staff, tonight was an easy decision based on how Caden was playing. But there's 3 or 4 or 5 other guys that we could call their number late in the game as well, depending on how they're playing in situations. So. But again, I can't say enough about Caden and his effort on both ends of the floor tonight.
Coach, you also, I think one of the things there toward the end of the game that was so beneficial for you all was your bench. Because Cleveland really had about 6 or 7 guys they played. They didn't play much more than that. And you had Price Davis come in, make plays. Bryson Comer came in, drew 2 charges, which were huge down low on number 5 for Cleveland. And it was just guy after guy that came in and stepped up. And talk a little bit about what you see in practice that translates that into games.
Yeah, and I'll mention Bryson for a second. He had, I think he had 4 points, but he had 8 rebounds. He took 2 charges. I thought Grayson Strader, played well. He had a big play down the stretch and end up with his other guy in double figures had 15, made a big 3 to start the second half. But again, I think for us it's about focus on the process, not the end result. I told our coaches, I don't know, it was about a minute or 2 to go in the game, or maybe in an overtime, that win or lose, this is good for us, and it really is. It makes you feel better. You won. If you're in a lot better mood tonight and tomorrow by winning the game. But either way, that game will help us because Cleveland's got a really good team. They're 8-1, only loss being the Catholic. And Coach Tucker, they're well coached. They play hard. They're very athletic. They got good guards. So that's a heck of a team we played. But again, we've got to continue to get better and not really get satisfied. And that's a hard job when you're winning games and stuff. But we got to continue to work and get better.
Just one more thing before we kind of let you go here, Coach. I know you want to head on out tonight, but a little bit of not necessarily a familiar opponent, but a familiar coach coming in on Friday. You obviously, Coach Birdwell was an assistant under you, and you will be playing Oakland, Murfreesboro, Oakland on Friday, and he was at Siegel when you all faced off in the state tournament. So talk a little bit about why schedule Oakland and, why come here or go there.
Yeah, Coach Birdwell is probably listening right now. So if you are a coach, I don't know if you played or not, but I got your 3 games. We're going to trade our last 3. I was waiting till we played this one, so I'll send our last 3 to you. Instead of us scrambling trying to get tape, we're just going to trade tapes. But yeah, we talked. We had an opening somewhere on our schedule, and obviously got a lot of respect for Coach Birdwell. He's done a great job since he's left here, and they've had some unfortunate stuff. I don't know all the details. Hadn't watched them play any possession yet. I'll start that tonight or in the morning. But yeah, they'll be really athletic. It'll be well coached, obviously, and most of the time when you get a team out of Middle Tennessee, obviously Murfreesboro, Oakland is one of those historically really, really good programs that have good athletes, and so regardless, their records. They've lost a handful of games. I think they've had some bad breaks, but we'll play a good team here on Friday night for sure.
Coach, you got a little bit of a really cool thing that you do every year with your players and the girls' players, and what you do with the community, creating Christmas memories. Talk a little bit about that and how people can help if they choose to.
Yeah, and that's this Sunday, and we're making a little bit of progress. I think we're up to like 57 or 58 kids that we've got right now, which is good. We had one big donation that kind of really, really helped us. So if you're listening to this and would like to, it's on your heart to give and try to help an unfortunate, maybe a kid in our community that may not get a Christmas, for every $100 that we get, we add another kid to our list. Our players, the girls and boys program, on Sunday at Walmart at 1 o'clock, we'll take each kid around, and it's great. It's just as good for our team, our girls and boys players, as it is the kids that actually get to shop. So, so if you're listening and want to donate, you can. Our last day of school is tomorrow. No, Thursday. You can simply just come by the high school, drop the check off, make it out to Oak Ridge Basketball Boosters, or if you need to email me, don't feel comfortable doing that, we'll find some way for you to send it electronically as well.
That's awesome, Coach. And just one more side note on a positive note, former Oak Ridge alum, or I guess not former, an Oak Ridge alum, Tajon Jones hit his 297th three-pointer for UNC Asheville tonight. And I know you've probably been keeping track of that. Yeah. You were a 3-ball guy yourself. And I know you're proud of him and everything that he's done, along with that whole group. That was a special group.
Yeah, that was a special group, and really, really proud of Tajon. Not only what he's done, at UNC Asheville at Division I level, athletically, but I know he's close. I think if he hadn't already got his degree, he's close. He's a great kid. He'll have a lot of success after basketball. He was that same group of T. Mm-hmm. Obviously, T's story is his story, and EJ Bush, another kid. I still say to this day, if EJ Bush doesn't tear his meniscus his senior year, we almost beat Memphis East in the Final Four without him. I think we probably win it, but that's just, again, that's part of it. But Tyshawn Young, Shaquan Gibson, all that crew with T and all those guys, obviously, one of the best senior classes to ever come through Oak Ridge High School.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Thank you for talking to us.
I appreciate it, and again, I know it's Christmas time. If you get a chance, don't have anything going on Friday with no JV game. Girls at 6, guys at 7:30 against Murfreesboro, Oakland. Come see us, and again, hopefully you can donate some money, drop it off, and help as many kids as we can.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks.
We will about wrap it up here tonight. Once again, the Wildcats won in a thriller here in overtime over Cleveland in a really hotly contested game. The Lady Wildcats did lose by 2, but fought the whole time. 56-54 was the final of that game, and the JV won 64-58. Boys JV won over Cleveland 64-58. So overall, really positive night. I think what you take away from program-wise here, as we'll wrap it up here. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Great games for both teams tonight. Close games. Obviously, one came out with a win, one did not. However, they came out with something to build on, like we spoke on earlier. And I don't think the Lady Vols team, the Lady Wildcats team has anything to hang their heads about. They're going to be a good team for sure. Once they get everything gelling, and they build on what they need to build on, they're going to be a good team. And as you can see, the boys basketball team already is. So they just got to keep on rolling.
Roll Wildcats roll, as we will sign off here. We appreciate Ben George, our stream master tonight, for fixing all of my mess ups. I'm sorry, Ben, for fixing all of my mess ups. And we also appreciate Nicholas Suttles and Ethan Eubanks, Josh Frazier, obviously, for helping us tonight. Our camera personnel also included Gavin Kintop and obviously David Clary. We appreciate all that he does, not only for Oak Ridge basketball, but for Oak Ridge sports in general. For all of those people, we would